Ladies and gentlemen, oh, what a blast from the past. Jeremy DeWitt, he's almost out. He's not out yet. But it's very, very close. I'm told this month he might be getting out. Do I know for sure? No. That's just what I've been told. I've really been keeping up because I've moved on to other people and other things. Other stuff, videos I want to talk about. Have a lot of fun with you guys. But it's always nice to return to the classics. Now, Jeremy was very good to me as far as content. And what an adventure that was. And, whew, just thinking about it, my brain's like, bro, it's too much. But we can't get into that yet because, as some of us know, during live streams, for the first 10 minutes, I just talk about whatever to let people trickle in. And then after the 10 minutes, at some point, if I ever stop rambling, which usually no, then yeah, we'll get into it after 10 minutes. So if you're watching this out of the fact and you're like, I don't want to watch him ramble, you're in the wrong place, first of all. But if you want to get to the meat and potatoes, skip forward at least 10 minutes. And then if you're like, nah, he's still going, just keep skipping forward. Which brings me to one of my disclaimers, because I have disclaimers. If you're watching this out of the fact and you're like, he rambles too much, again, you're in the wrong place. But if you want to skip forward, skip back, you can do that. I shouldn't have to remind you. And I bring this up because when I was doing Jeremy DeWitt content, some people got very confused about it. And they're like, what? Just show the video. Like, go to the source of the video if you just want to watch the video. If you're here to get my reaction and my information that I want to present about it, you're in the right place. Otherwise, good luck. I'm not saying I don't love having you guys here. Of course I love having you guys here. It's just I want you to know what to expect. That's why I put it in the beginning. Yeah, if you're watching this live, though, sorry. I'm so sorry. So, that brings me to my next disclaimer. We're already familiar with the coin flip. If you're not, I guess we're not familiar. Why would I say that? I have these drinks here. They are apple juice. I have an extreme apple juice allergy. They stop me from functioning good. So I have a coin. If you're incredibly generous, like maybe too generous, and you happen to donate $20, that's a lot. I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking for anything. But if you're feeling like helping keeping this whole thing going, I got a lot of little things to play with. There's a lot that wouldn't have been doable, for example, without your continued incredibly generous support. Get back out. Come on. Yeah, no. You had your fun. All right. I have to have a switch on the floor because this controller is very old and it buzzes weirdly, and I worry that it will explode and light me on fire. Which, let's face it, would be a very interesting stream. But I also don't want to be on fire. So, next disclaimer, if you're feeling very generous, that's the thing. You get a coin flip. That's all you get. You only get a coin flip. It's not a gamble. I flip a coin. If it is heads, like it is here, I am usually, but maybe not always, compelled to drink one of those bad boys. Now, you may notice what's going on over here. That is usually empty. And before it was empty, it was filled with not that color of liquid. Well, I'm glad you asked. One of the shenanigans that Jeremy got himself into was in Chicago when he was buying, and we'll get into this later, I hope, which will be another disclaimer. We'll get to that. He was buying an ambulance in Chicago, and he allegedly thought that someone was attacking his wife, so he started throwing chairs at the person that was attacking her with a long-handle orange screwdriver or something of that nature. He said something like that. This is a screwdriver. That means there is actual alcohol in it. It is vodka and orange juice. It's not good orange juice. It's pretty okay vodka. Now, I don't usually drink on my stream, but I will say for certain there is alcohol in that. I won't tell you how much. Might be a couple drops. This might just be pure vodka colored orange. I'm not going to tell you the amount. I am going to drink that today. At least some of it. If you want me to drink it in front of you, and you're feeling, oh my God, way too wealthy, $37 exactly will get you not only a fun little Jeremy DeWitt themed donation reaction, but I will pour myself a little glass of that and I'll drink it. I actually don't know how much vodka is in that, by the way. I have literally no idea. But I won't tell you more because I might give away more information than I want to. All right, where are we at? We're at about 5 minutes. Another thing. It's the late, great Schrodinger's cat. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, big guy. Might as well. have a little sip. Something for him. This one's a freebie for him. He is responsible for getting many of the people watching this involved.
It is Friday night time for apple juice. Hello, Blue Bacon.
Right. I'm doing something serious. He's responsible for getting a lot of people into the whole auditing.
For Schrodinger's birthday.
See, that. We'll get to that. He did a lot of content on First Amendment auditors, among other people, and a lot of people that was their introduction to that whole situation. He is no longer with us. He, oh boy, did he have some fun videos, but it's a little something for him. I'll tell you what, that apple juice is growing on me. It's not great, but it is growing on me. All right, we got 4 minutes before we start. And, yeah, okay, so I have a plan. We're probably going to go completely off the rails. But I have a plan. We're going to cover what I think are the biggest things, the Jeremy DeWitte situation. There's a lot. Oh my God, there's so much. And when we were covering it, it was unfolding in real time. Like, this stuff that was developing as we were covering it, it was insane. Looking back now, it's a little easier to piece together, but there's still, a lot of just chaos. So we're not going to cover everything, not even close. But we're going to try to just do the things that I thought were important. If you think there's something super interesting that we're not covering, if you put it in the chat. That's right. Rennie is monitoring it. She knows what I'm going to cover. So if she sees anything that she doesn't remember me telling her, she can let me know if she's feeling generous. Also, someone asked me to give him a shout out. Blue Bear, Rennie has the link to that. It's almost at 1,000 subscribers. They have some fun videos about a variety of things in a similar vein, I believe, as stuff I cover, which is great. Good to have more people on that train. You stay where you're at. You do it. Just getting a little excited there. Don't. So, yeah. No. Anyway, so if you want to help Blue Bear get to 1,000, there you go. And Rennie might have that in the chat at some point. I don't know. There's a delay on the chat. You can really see when I say it, and the timing, whatever. So let me do some super chats because you guys are already just the best. And sorry, by the way, for missing the stream last week. I had some family stuff that was honestly ended up being pretty delightful. But I don't like to broadcast that stuff before I do it because it's none of your business. No. I slipped my mind. I'm like, oh shoot, that's gonna eat into that time, and then I was like, oh, I'll have time to stream from where I'm at, but I didn't. It was a whole thing. I'm so sorry. So we're gonna get into this chaos. Also, before I even started, I think Ginny, thank you for subscribing.
Cheers for the FC.
Hey, that's right. Get another little sip there. Logan Marshall DeWitt. Solid. Thank you so much for your generosity. Rebecca Green, thank you so much. Says apology payment for possibly annoying emails sent. I'll have to check. I've been, as always, really behind on emails. Lizzie from Aussie, thank you for, I don't even know what that is, but for Schrodinger's birthday, really appreciate it. Yeah. Just happy birthday, guy. Happy birthday. Is that what? I assume that's like Australian dollar a days. Crikey. Australian to American. We're going to convert. Good, yes, it works. That's the first coin flip. Oh, you guys are going to ruin me. That is a tails. I'm so sorry, you can't really see it. Let me see if I can get my foot pedal. Bam! That is tails. This is heads, by the way. You can't really tell. Usually neither can I. But thank you so much. And Kim Shelton, thank you so much. Says this is going to be the best live ever. I can't promise that. It's going to be absolute chaos, I'm sure. So at least with that. Mike's Diabetes World, thank you so much from Canada. Oh, up in the Great White North there, eh? That's a coin flip, don't you know? Oh, you betcha. That's a heads, eh? And we are consuming our first apple juice. But we need some apple juice music. Got real intense. It's good apple juice. We wait for it. get a little bit, just build the tension. Just build the tension a little bit. I also don't want to drink it, so I'm delaying it. Woo! All right. That's enough of you. Another coin flip. All right, we're at 10 minutes. We're just gonna finish up. Then we're getting into it. If you skipped ahead to the 10-minute mark, sorry, you're gonna have to keep skipping. And then Linda, thanks so much. That's cheers to the SC. You know it. That is another heads. Oh, heck, I'm running out of time. I don't have time to do the whole music thing. Linda, you jerk, and this one's for you, Schrodinger. Oh, the allergies. Ah. And Teresa, thanks so much. Oh, that counts, doesn't it? Oh. No! No, I need this one. Severe allergy. I mean, to be fair, sometimes I get a lot of tails and I feel bad about it, so this is karma? Also, we didn't do this last week, so karma? Is that how karma works? I don't know. Bah! Flah! I don't like it. All right. Oh, just straight up apple juice. This one, that one's alcoholic. That one's just apple juice. You know what I'm saying? No. Careful, Icarus. No, there's so much happening. Let me give you Careful, Icarus, and then we'll get into things. Things are gonna happen though. So
Careful, Icarus.
Oh, some of you guys. Okay. Whoa. So you guys hit me real hard, real fast. This is one of the reasons why I don't like to let super chats build, because things like that happen. And then sometimes I forget they exist. And then thank you, P. Barnes, our Lord and Savior, Taser Daddy. Let me just put myself up for this. I see, ready. Also, sorry, one more thing. I know we're about to get into it. I got a care package. They got sent to my P.O. box, which is monitored by my moderator, and she packaged it all up and sent it to me, I believe is how that worked. I'm pretty sure. And so I have a bunch of stuff I haven't gone through yet. I opened it up and went, I know what this is, because there was one thing I was told I was going to get by the person who was sending it. So I'm going to have to do a stream at some point in the near future, hopefully, where we go over that. And then someone was like, you should do a stream where you eat an MRE. So I figured we can do both. Yeah, it sounds like a good time. Sometimes I get hungry and want an MRE. It's not really... Well, that's kind of true. Only if I don't have better... It does... Back on topic. All right. So, Jeremy DeWitt, let me give you basically the first things that happened, and we're going to try to sort of put them in order, but there's a lot that isn't, like, in order. It's just like, yeah, there's a timeline, but then there's like, things that branch off of it. There's like, there's so many rabbit holes, and we're going to try to avoid most of that, but I'm going to cover the stuff that I found very interesting at the time, and still do. So, the first thing we're going to go over is the original arrest of Jeremy DeWitt. Now, this was released by a channel that I had watched called Real World Police, and they get body cam footage, and they release it out in the world, and it's great fun, great content, and Real World Police has been very, very generous in being really cool with us, being like, hey, you know that footage you got? We would also like to discuss it. Never been a problem. It's like, yeah, it's public. I requested it's now public. But, you know, you still could have been like, hey, I don't know about that. But always very cool. We did make sure to check. But let's get into this. I'm going to skip around a little bit. We're just going to hit the highlights. Oh, that intro brings me back. I tell you what. But also might be a copyright thing. So. All right, starting off. So many interruptions. Going to be a lot of interruptions. I believe Jeremy was pulled over, and I'm pulling this from like the deep recesses of my mind, ladies and gentlemen. So take it all with a grain of salt. Pretty sure Jeremy's registration came up showing the vehicle was stolen. I think it was just an issue with paperwork with when he bought it. Don't know the details. That's the initial stop, if I remember correctly. We're gonna skip forward.
It's on my motorcycle. Sorry, you want me to
Go back to my motor.
Let me know if the audio is no good, by the way. I did some adjustment, and I regret it, but it might be okay. Don't know. Let me know in the live chat. Thank you.
So you understand over here, sorry. I can't, because unless you're going to put one of your cruisers here and hold this funeral, I can't do that. You hear me? Sergeant, it pissed me off.
Sergeant, Jeremy, you're starting to piss me off. So, yes, this is during a funeral escort. So, Jeremy's whole shtick was he ran funeral escorts, for those of you who don't know, and he sort of crossed some lines when it came to dressing like police and acting like police, and it got him good. He's had this problem for a while. But it's hopefully corrected now, because he is still in jail, but almost out. Almost out. He did take a plea deal for this. We'll get to that at the end of the stream if you're patient with me. So maybe it wasn't the stolen vehicle. It might have been that he was holding the intersection, which he does not have the authority to do. It started out strong. Jeremy started out real strong. Is Artie here? Ooh, Artie. Ooh.
Sorry, I'm not trying to piss you off. Get your license. See, let me go. Okay. Get your license. All right. Sergeant, we can transfer over to Windermere. What happened? Been looking for you.
All right, let's skip, because there's a moment where he just starts yelling, Sergeant. That's really what I care about.
The vehicle's not stolen, Sergeant.
There it is.
I can tell you right now, everything's being videotaped on my body cam, Sergeant. Okay, so that's not a firearm, Sergeant.
That one right there. That. I'm pretty sure I have that in my $37 donation. I think it goes, that's not a firearm, Sergeant. Sergeant. I just cut all the times he's saying Sergeant in this video. Oh, it's so good. It's a lot of money. Please. I don't need that.
Let's go. That's a less lethal, Sergeant, so legally for the per Florida statute, I'm allowed to carry that, Sergeant. 970. Go ahead and look it up, Sergeant.
Do I give you the spoilers now? I will. So, because it's not exactly hidden information. So Jeremy used a specific statute to claim, I have it written down somewhere. Let me pull it up. It's in front of me. My monitor in front of me stopped working for a while, which is really a pain to make videos when I don't have my monitor there with my notes. But now I have it. So let me, I have his entire, sorry, I'm just like staring at you. Ooh, whoa. But no, behind the camera is my screen that has his plea deal. He, as part of his plea, and we'll get to this later as well, he had to acknowledge that one of the statutes he claimed allowed him to do this did not authorize him to do this, which I think is hilarious. But anyway, so he'd be like, this statute, and he's very confident about it. He, very, very convincing, and that kept him out of trouble for a while until it finally didn't. So.
The vehicle's not stolen, Sergeant. I have the registration for the vehicle, Sergeant. I have the registration for the vehicle, Sergeant.
Okay, so let me tell you a thing. When you're arrested for something, when like a vehicle's coming back stolen, there are like a lot of issues, they're gonna put you in cuffs first, probably, and then resolve that situation. But like that registration, if this is a stolen vehicle, if it's actually stolen, which it wasn't, just showed up in their system because probably filed incorrectly. I don't know whose fault that was, the government's or his. I'm tempted to believe it was his because he has some issues with doing things legally. I don't know. But, so if this guy's being real kind of nuts, it's not inappropriate to put him in handcuffs and then be like, all right, let's resolve the situation in a second. But that, having all that paperwork isn't necessarily going to prove that it's not stolen. So, just in case anyone was wondering. There we go.
Lieutenant, please.
There is no lieutenant. I'm in.
Get a captain.
There is no captain. I'm in.
There's generally no requirement for them to do that, to get someone hired.
Valid registration, Sergeant, that shows the state of Florida gave me the registration and that tag. The tag was stolen off another motorcycle. That motorcycle was stolen. We were given the tag back by Orange County Sheriff's Office, and then that tag was given to us by the department.
All right. Oh, this is where they start going through his duty belt. Yeah.
With their body cameras rolling. Roger.
Jeremy, if you're doing funeral escorts, why do you have handcuffs?
I didn't even pass cross on a double yellow. I stayed inside the double yellow, which is legal for us in the state of Florida, per Florida escort.
Yeah, the Florida escort statute does not say anything about being able to cross over a double yellow. I'm fairly confident. But it's also a fairly obscure statute, so normally an officer is not going to be familiar with it until they were. And that's where things went south. And there's a problem with this, because Jeremy was like, oh, I've been doing this for so long, nobody's had a problem with it, because he was able to BS his way through it. And then some officers actually decided to look it up and went, what the? There we go. Oh, that's not how that works. And they got him in jail. It's pretty great.
I can pull the statute as well. Somebody get with him and explain to him that's less lethal, and per Florida statute 960, we can have that. He's saying I stole the bike.
Skip.
We could have done this professionally, not like children. Just because you don't.
I mean, this is professional. It's within the professional duties of the profession of the law enforcement.
Don't like me and you have a history with me doesn't authorize you to treat me like shit, Sergeant.
I'm treating you like shit.
You are, Sergeant.
No, everybody can move on.
No, there's 12 with me, just like your officers would be if you needed help.
They can go.
No, they're staying per my orders.
Stay against
Hey,
the
officers, I'm getting this all on
Why do you
video
have a bulletproof
camera,
vest on?
and I can promise you, this isn't going to go the way you're planning. Officer, I have my body camera on.
That's fine.
So just leave my helmet on for right now, sorry, officer.
Officer, sorry. Yeah, they don't have to play your game. Let me skip, see if there's anything else in this video. Teresa, did I do a coin flip for you? Or did it stop at Linda? I just want to check. Because Lizzie was a no. That was a tails. Laying down the law was heads. Mike's diabetes. Did I do laying down the law with Blue Bear? Hi, Blue Bear. Or did I skip straight to Mike's diabetes world? Oh, no. Oh, everything is falling apart. Rennie, help. Rennie, help me organize this. I'm so sorry. Oh, no. It's already falling apart. No, it's fine. All right, so that's the first video of Jeremy being like, rah. And so people loved it. People were like, oh, this guy with his sergeant. What a character. And then I guess Real World Police has like, oh, well, I have more footage of this guy. Let me drop some knowledge. And he put down, let me pull this up. Oh, that video is not available anymore. But I just grabbed it. Give me a second, folks. Let me let me pull up this thing that I had in my notes that is no longer in my notes. So there we go. There we go. It's gonna be that one, right? Is this?
Get in the car.
Can we please
two of
do a
them.
coin flip for a Tix packet who has to deal with all
Heck,
of
I
us?
suppose we could.
Smile.
All right, so we made it to Linda. All right, while we're paused, before we get into the next videos that Real World Police released, let me do some super chat because it's how I do. I don't know how long the stream's gonna last. I'm just gonna try to get to the end of my notes. It might be forever. That's fine. All right, so we made it to Linda. Fantastic. Teresa. Oh no. Oh no, that's another super chat. That's another coin flip. I mean, it's a heads. No. Let's see what it would have been. All right, thank you, Teresa, so much. So that's a heads. Oh boy. Oh, you guys got so lucky today. I'm a little upset about it. It's fine. Who cares? Just an apple juice allergy. Well, let me keep going through these. James K, thanks so much for being a member, by the way. Says, DeWitt brought me here 2 years ago. Your channel has grown so much since then. I know. I was looking through my old stuff going, oh, I remember when my lighting was terrible and my camera was pretty bad. I think it was this camera, which is not a great camera. Actually, it's a fine camera. If the light conditions are perfect, which they aren't. The camera I'm using now, much more expensive, but very, very good comparatively, and just in general, even not comparatively. And I couldn't have gotten this amazing camera without the support of all of you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are, it's ridiculous. I was talking, because I was doing the family thing, remember, last Friday. I was talking to my mom. She's like, why do people donate to you? I'm like, wow, Mom, okay. No, it's fine. No, but it's like, I don't know. It shocks me as well. But thank you so much for supporting this, the nonsense that I do. It means so much to me. And she appreciates it as well. She's not like, you shouldn't. But she's just like, I don't understand. Me neither. But I have a lot of fun. I have so much fun doing this. And people have fun watching it. So I'm not going to question it too hard. I'm not going to do that. But she does. Sometimes she's just, why? I don't know. It doesn't matter. So, oh no, some of you. Okay, well, I'm going to hide this because I can't do more. Well, oh, heck, it's a party. It's a party, folks. Maybe we'll flip to refill. Maybe. Oh, that's fine. I really appreciate, because James, of course you've been around since then. Of course I remember you. And there's so many people who have stayed around since then. It's kind of nuts where we've come from those humble beginnings. And, you know, it's not like we're at the end. We're going to keep building from here. But Gary Ridgway, for example, still, oh my God, everything fell apart. I have to reorganize all of that. It's fine. We're still doing that, I hope. Sorry, whole different thing. I told you to get distracted easily. It's just going to be nonsense and rambling. 5-minute pause, maybe less, hopefully less. Ed, thanks so much. Says Ohio Supreme Court Disciplinary Council says Chille likely committed unauthorized practice of law. They'll serve him to appear if he ever returns to Ohio. Finally, it takes them a while to do that, but I did know that there was a complaint that had been filed with them, and so if that's correct, they have in fact stated that. Doesn't shock me. Shame it took them so long. It's probably not going to do much because he's already not planning on returning to Ohio, I assume. Because he already has a warrant for his arrest there. But there are other places where he presumably would have done on the author. Words are hard. I'm speaking too quickly. There are other places where the unauthorized practice of law would have occurred, potentially, given what has now just been allegedly said in Ohio when it comes to Chille DeCastro. None of what I just said really makes all that much sense. So we're just going to move on. I'm so sorry. It works in my head, but then you say it, and it's just like, that's not how words work. It's fine. Thank you, Ed. Just trying to get through these quickly, and sometimes it makes everything difficult. so I already got to you, you greedy goober. With careful Icarus. Heck, we can do it again, because I love it. It's so good. Where is it? There it is.
Careful,
all right.
Icarus.
Here it is. Sage Win, thanks so much. Stronger's cat's birthday is today. Rip Big Cat, 100%. 100%. Patriotism USA, thank you for subscribing. Thank you. Angry Drunk Bumblebees, good to have you here as I just love the name. And thank you so much, New Zealand. Love it. Love New Zealand. Never been, want to go. Says, don't be too hard on DeWitt. He is busy saving women and children in Ukraine, jumping from his F-35. He is not in prison. His WTF 707 forums says so. Or yeah, I read that right. Oh, DeWitt in his riser. We'll get to that if I ever get to that. Logan Marshall DeWitt, thank you again. Says 316.1974 says I can make videos every day, all day for months on end about Jeremy. I don't think it says that, but you can certainly do that. That is a coin flip. That son of a gun. That's a refill. I'm very upset right now. But we had this. We already had this. Heck, what do I want to do with this? Let's make this fun. There it is. That one's on me. We're going to do a light refill. I might just start pulling from that. All right. It's not a full one because, my God, I missed this last week. So this is, look, when this hits, it's going to hit hard. Allergies, am I right? Okay, we're just going to... Linda, you also. So that's. Oh no, please no. Okay, right off the microphone. No, what's happening? Everything. Oh, Tails, thank goodness. No. Uh-oh. Max. Guys, I have to get through this. Okay, just...
That's not a firearm, Sergeant. 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 Well, Sergeant.
I wanna see Beta Chille and Ranger do it in a cage match.
Hold on, what did that say? See Beta Chille and Ranger do it in a cage match. I would love that. I'd love to see them in the same room. I met Jeremy on Dr. Phil, but I'm getting ahead of myself. And wow, that was an experience. Okay. Thank you so much, though. Mav, why? What are you doing? My mother actually wants to know why. Why? Why are you so generous? My mom needs to know. All right, oh my God, let me try to keep going through this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then Linda, who I just flipped for, it was a Tails, thank goodness, says, can we please do a coin flip for Rennie, who has to deal with all of us? Yeah, Rennie's the best. Rennie, the best. Do I have an applause? I do have an applause. She's the best. She's the best. I don't know what I'd do without her. I would struggle. It would be a struggle bus day every day, and I would hate it. Pat Scats, thank you for becoming a member. Good to have you here. Wendy Donnelly, thank you so much. Oh, that's a coin flip. Jeremy DeWitt appears to be up Poop Creek without a paddle. All right, that's enough applause, Rennie. You only get so much. Don't get greedy. Coin flip. As a Tails. Ah, my luck is changing. Okay, well, you probably want to see it. Who cares? You don't know. You don't know. I didn't have a coin originally. I had a thing that would just do it on my computer so that you knew I wasn't faking it. But now I'm like, oh, I could be faking it. I'm not. But I could be. Sorry. Anyway, I'm just being dumb because I'm trying to get through these quickly. I'm dumb always, but now you get to see it. Simone, thanks so much for subscribing. Inquisitor Rurik, thank you for being a member for 6 months. You incredible man, or woman, or person, incredible person, you. Says, hey, dude, yourself. And then Delete Laws, the fake one, I assume. Thank you so much. Says, as an alpha male, I approve this live stream. I appreciate it. Ice Blaze says, ooh, officer. Ooh, right back at you. Gishmake, did I have that right? Because I remember struggling with that before. I think I have that right this time. You're very generous, thank you. It says, I love your channel. There's no better way to lead into a holiday weekend than with a retrospective of our favorite police impersonator, Mr. DeWitt. I know. It's... I mean, I dealt with it for so long, and I had to, take a step back. When I took a step back, I was like, this is kind of nice and refreshing. Now I get to go on to other things. I love it. But it is nice to look back on it now. I don't think I'm going to return to it full-time by any means. But if he does anything stupid, I'll keep an eye out. That's for sure. Ted Guy, thank you so much. Says, I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima. I'll talk to you later. Have fun. I hear good things. I've never played, though. Jay Carr, you sly dog, you. Thank you so much. Being a member, says, aren't you shaking your boots, Blue? Chille is taking you down, you know. He's taking us all down. Send his mom to smack him. Yeah, he's been saying he's going to sue me for ages and hasn't yet. Probably never happened. Then Mav, of course, your incredibly generous donation. Thank you so much. And then Lizzie from Aussie, this last one. Whoo, caught up. Thank you so much, the old Australian. Did the girlfriend have a baby to him? I don't believe so, but we're getting to that. All right. Wow, that took forever. Thanks to your shenanigans. You incredible people, you. I will slowly sip this as we go on to the next thing, which is... Oh, my God, we're so behind my schedule, which isn't really a schedule. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Real World Police started releasing more videos, starting with, I believe, this one. And let me just play it for you now.
Move up the wrong side of the road and get...
This is, by the way, again, a lot of interruptions. This is Jeremy in action doing his funeral escort. So here we go.
...to me now. And then when that van gets...
I'll just tell you all the things that... some of the legal things he's doing. For example, driving on the wrong side of the road. Easy. Easy right there. Look at that. All right, wrong side of the road. Hold on, what's this? Okay, so this guy in the intersection right here does not have the authority to do that. Yeah, this guy in the intersection right there does not have the authority to just park in the intersection and wait. That's not how that works. If you're actual law enforcement, you do have that authority. Jeremy has done escorts with law enforcement, and from my understanding, talking to people who are in the know about that situation, not naming names, he convinced them in some way that he knew what he was doing. I don't know how, but they were like, oh, this guy has experience or training or something. And so they basically deputized him on the spot, if that makes sense, to have their authority under their sort of watchful eyes. And then Jeremy's just sort of started doing it on his own because that technique is very, very effective. But he does not have the authority to do it. And that's one of the huge things that got him.
Okay, I need you to carefully use opposite direction traffic. Stay on your horn, use the siren, whatever.
Also, that the horn he's using, the siren, he is not allowed to use.
And get to
I believe.
Alan carefully.
Skippity, 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 skip.
But you can't park
All right, holding an intersection is, again, illegal.
on these fucking railroad tracks.
Language, Jeremy. My goodness, I forgot.
So make sure you pull over
Hide your children's ears. Also, if Sam is watching, hi, Sam.
here a little bit.
Yeah, that's illegal.
And you just passed me, so go to the next light.
Skippity, skippity, skip.
None of us are moving. Fucking two. Blue sedan pulling out right from. Stay
Right
on your
below.
horn. You got mover. Stay on your horn. You got a mover on the left. Blue sedan pulling out right from a blind building. Park right where I'm sitting. Motor one.
Boop, boop, beep, 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 beep. All right, excessive speed, I assume.
Get over.
Ah, here we go.
Stop.
Directing traffic while dressed as law enforcement, or very, very close to it. That's impersonation. That's one of the things that got him.
You. Get over now.
Yeah, that's a crime.
Get over now. Get over now. I'm out of gas.
That's classic line. This right here.
Now.
Hold on. This might be able to articulate excessive acceleration. I don't know how Florida handles that because it kind of looks like the frame starts lifting off the ground. You'll see in motorcycles. It really depends on how that's charged. 'Cause some places it requires your tires to actually spin in place, burnout style, that sort of thing. But I mean, there's so many things that you could discuss about this. I'm going to keep skipping because there are some juicy moments in this.
Hold him. Just hold him back. Just Roger. I'm moving. I gotta find.
Now, it is difficult to gauge his speed here because I believe the people he's passing are in the funeral escort, which means they're probably going slower than the rest of traffic, but just food for thought. Skipping.
I just broke the escort. Oh, okay, I know. I don't know why the car doesn't have gas. I just broke down. I just ran out of gas.
Well, probably because nobody put gas in it.
Fuck.
I think this might be the one where he yells at a guy. Let me find my mouse real quick. Is that this one? Ah, yes. Might be this. Might be this. Yeah, he has no authority to do that.
Get out of the way. Move your fuck.
And that is a problem. Depends how they charge it in Florida. It could be a number of things. I know we've discussed it in the past. I don't remember how the statutes would actually handle that. If that would be damage to property, attempted damage to property, assault because of the fear it would put someone in, road rage, that sort of thing. There are a lot of things that it could be. I don't remember what it was, but just so you know, that's a thing that happened.
Get your fucking car out of the way now! I don't know what you. I don't give a fuck what you don't understand. Pull forward now! Pull forward now! Stop there! What the fuck?
Yeah, that's unlawful detention. Because he's dressed like law enforcement, because a reasonable person might believe that he is law enforcement, these directions are likely to be followed. So basically, if you see someone that looks very much like a police officer and they're saying, hey, do this, do that, do that, and you feel compelled to do it because of the way they're dressed and you assume they have the authority, that's impersonation. Right there. It's that easy. It's that easy.
Fuck is your problem?
I didn't know what's the problem back there.
Does he just not let the guy go? I don't know what happened. The guy's, I'm assuming, very confused. I think he might have called that one in. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. So that was released. And then I was like, oh, there's a lot of fun stuff about this. People are very excited about this guy. I'm going to release my own video, essentially saying what I just said there. Like, these are the things that are going to get him in trouble. And this is why this is a serious problem. Because look at this. This appears to meet the elements of these statutes in Florida. And then that's where I got on the map. And people really liked that. And were like, you need to talk about it more. I was like, oh, God, that was a throwaway video. I was in the middle of moving my setup. Okay. Like, it wasn't a good video. But okay. And so then I talked about him for a very long time. And people loved it. Yeah. No, it was great. It was a good time. But enough about me. Let's talk more about Jeremy. So the next thing, I think there might have been another video that Real World Police released about Jeremy, basically the same sort of style thing. And then someone let him know. I believe it was a tip that he received. They let him know about a very special situation, which I will share.
Johnny Gargano is down and doesn't look good.
Oh!
For WWE's Man of the Minute. He heard it.
What's that right there? It says Metro State Emergency Responder. Oh, that's so interesting. Now, Metro State was Jeremy's company.
Nick Bad. This calls for way fun. Metro State, what a perfect fit for wrestling. Guys, look.
I'm sorry, it's just so funny. Oh, there he is. There's our boy. That's Jeremy. Oh, that face.
Meet Jeremy DeWitt. Recently arrested in Chicago for flinging chairs out of a 6-story window.
Yes. The Chicago thing we'll talk about. Whoever did the voice for this, I love you. You're so good. You're so good. Yeah, so that happened. And that was the point where I started to realize this was going to get weird. And it was going to just blow up. So after that, or before that, I don't know. I don't remember exactly where this happened. But I remember this popping up and going, what? But at some point, more footage started to be released, and Jeremy started trying to defend himself from allegations and accusations about himself and his company. And he reached out to me on my channel, because I was talking about him. He's like, oh, why didn't you reach out to us? And I had actually sent them an email through the website. I was like, bruh, I did that. So then I called, because they have a phone number, and was like, if you want to talk, I'm happy to talk. And we set up an interview. Now, around this time, certain people in Florida, which will remain unnamed, who were involved in his whole situation started to contact me. And they started to give me information that I was unable to verify myself. And I thought this discussion with Jeremy would be the perfect time to try to corroborate some of the statements. So I did an interview, and I broke it up into multiple parts because the interview actually, the audio became corrupted, unfortunately, which is very, very annoying, obviously. So I had to piece it together and release it in parts. And there's still a fourth part that has not been released. And maybe I can, if we get this, how many likes does this video have so far? If we get this video to some amount of likes, maybe I'll try to recover it and see where that audio is. I'm sure there's not that much to it. It's just like the lost interview. Yeah, I have no idea how many likes we're at. But 500 likes. 500 likes. And I'll work while this is live. And I'll recover that. And if that doesn't happen, gosh, maybe I'll find another reason to find it. I don't know. But if we do it today, if we get 500 likes today, I will definitely try very hard to find it. As opposed to maybe I'll find it. Maybe eventually, maybe. Yeah, we'll throw it out there. Excuse me, we'll throw that out there is what I meant to say before my mouth stopped working. So, I did the interview. It was a very soft interview because I wasn't trying to accuse him of stuff. Because people were like, why didn't you accuse him of this? Why didn't you yell at him for that? Blah, blah, blah. Because we know these things already. He filmed it all. I don't need to do that. But I want answers to questions. And I want to hide it amongst some very softball questions. And I got a lot of answers. But it was hard to sort of tell people that without alerting him to the fact, because I was like, I want to leave this open to for another discussion, if possible. Excuse me, I'm doing a lot of talking. But after that interview, we started to get rumors about Jeremy possibly committing stolen valor. So I reached out to Jeremy about it and said, hey, I'd like to do another one of these. Thank you so much for giving me your time. But there are these accusations. I'd like to get your take on this. And he got very, very, very mad and stopped talking to me completely. So that was the thing. And we can actually, I have one of the videos here of Jeremy doing this whole stolen valor thing. And I do quotes because I'll explain in a second. There are a lot of videos out there. We can't watch all of them, so I will give you this.
Whenever we're done running the 2829 on the bike and I can verify the registration, we can move forward. If you run a 2829 on a tag and comes back with a 27, you don't think I don't know that?
Okay, that's fine.
No, I was
in a sworn capacity.
not in a sworn capacity.
But other than this situation back in the 90s at this gas station when you were young, you've never told anybody you were a police officer or that you had been a police officer or anything like that, right?
Trying to find it in the transcript here. Here we go.
I served as a cop. I was an DEWITTE police officer. And then I served for 12 years in the U.S. Army as a major. And then I served for 12 years in the U.S. Army as a major.
All right, so claims to have served 12 years in the United States Army as a major. I had a stream back in the day that disproved that, essentially said that timeline isn't possible for him to have achieved what he claimed to have achieved. He said that he stopped being in the Army because he jumped into Fallujah, and his parachute had an issue, specifically a riser popped riser. That's where we get the popped riser from, which in parachute terms, the riser is part of the parachute somewhere. I think it's like part of the harness, sort of around this general area. Don't quote me on that. I've never done any parachuting. But if your riser breaks, if it fails, there is a chance that your parachute will have a partial or full collapse. So I believe Jeremy's whole thing was like, oh, I descended too quickly and I hurt my back, and that's why I'm not in the Army anymore. That was his excuse. He never served. He never served in the Army. Not once. Not at all. So that's that. But the problem with saying that you serve in the military is that it isn't necessarily illegal just to say that unless you're gaining some sort of pecuniary benefit, meaning you receive something of value. If that's money, if that's an object. If I was like, here's my car, right, because you served, that would be pecuniary or of pecuniary value. If I paid to do something because you were a veteran, that would also be the case. If there was a discount, a veteran's discount that you used illegally, yes, there you go, that as well. Now, we tried to find something that would indicate he had made claims that he was in the military to get certain things. He had a first responder card that gave him discounts on things, and we thought maybe that would be it. But it's hard to say if it was because of his claims to military service or that he claimed to be law enforcement. I don't know the details. We had a lot of maybes, but actually proving this was very, very difficult. There's an entire channel basically devoted to just trying to figure that out. Again, there are a lot of rabbit holes on this. But we weren't able to definitively say anything. The closest we ever got was a guy named Chance Scholl. Now, Chance was, and perhaps still is, if I remember correctly, a federal air marshal working for the Department of Homeland Security. And he was, and perhaps still is, a member of a motorcycle organization called Shadow Warrior Riders, which paid DeWitt to escort a charity event. Now, DeWitt escorted a few charity events. One of them was for Shadow Warrior Riders. And Chance stated in an email that the board of directors for that organization voted to hire Jeremy based on what on what Jeremy represented his company to be. Sorry, I have things on my desk I'm playing with. Don't mind me. Now that is interesting because the Shadow Warrior Riders, I believe, is exclusively a veteran organization. Basically, this motorcycle, I won't use the word gang because it's not like they're a gang implied. Well, some people think gang implies criminal, but they're a motorcycle organization that I believe is made up entirely of veterans. And so if they, and I never got confirmation of this, but if they hired Jeremy based on how he represented his company, and he represented his company as a veteran-owned business, well, that would be criminal stolen valor. I tried to ask Chance about this. Chance was very upset that I was bringing him up at all. I tried to ask, he said no, or he implied, I think the implication was, and I don't remember all the details, I believe the implication was that he was a potential witness in the case against Jeremy, and so he didn't want to talk about it. And I thought, I don't want to jeopardize the case, so I'm not going to ask too much about it. If they're investigating that, they'll investigate that. That's their problem. They know about it. The government knows about it. Cool. But there was a video I released sort of calling him out, and he tried very hard to get that video taken off YouTube against my will. And I told him, like, I'll drop the video. Don't worry about it. Because you stated that you are a potential witness, I'll leave it up for another however many days, like a few days. Once it's up for maybe a week. I don't remember the details, but like I'll leave it up for this amount of time, very short amount of time, and then I'll drop it. And then he filed a privacy complaint against it, which failed. And I was like, I'm going to leave it up until that privacy complaint expires, and then I'll take it down just to show you that that's not going to happen, right? This isn't up to you. I take it down on my terms. So I did private the video, but now we get to watch it again.
They took one of my guys.
Investigation is over. So there's not really an excuse anymore, is there? Let's watch the full thing.
Carrying for having his gun. He's got his D&G license.
Licensing,
Yeah.
so that's going to be thrown
They still
out.
took him though. Still took him. And this guy tried to run him over. And by the way, the sergeant just advised me that we weren't supposed to do your event. And somebody in your group, as an Orange County deputy, told Orange County Motors we were doing your event. He literally just told me because we called Orange County and they sent the motor sergeant over. And he just told me.
We never saw anybody, did we? And Beavis wouldn't say anything. Beavis works in the courthouse.
So that means somebody else was on the group as an Orange County Motor too, or a officer.
It was there maybe for the ride.
Yeah. It's whatever.
That's one of those risks we run when we do those motors.
I know. Doesn't bother me at all.
You're a stud, man.
Doesn't bother me at all.
Hey.
You know, it.
But you know, man, I got respect for you, man. You're a good guy.
Sorry. You better figure it out real quick. Another great quote from Jeremy DeWitt. Yeah, so Chance really hated that, but it's back, baby, in this stream at least. So, I don't have a chance. Don't know what he's doing now. Don't really care. It doesn't matter. Maybe in the future I'll figure it out real quick, but probably not today. Also, I have plates. Base face. You've convinced me. I'll explain in a second. We're just gonna wait. The moment I start, it's gonna hit. So, all right, let's start. Anyway, so Jeremy DeWitt, what a character. And let's talk about some of the... Not yet. It's taking a sweet, sweet time, Baseface. All right. Let me explain a real thing, because there it is.
Sergeant.
Oh boy. Is that a firearm on your belt, or are you happy to see me?
Little column A, little column B base face. I guess a little bit of a little sippy sip right there of the orange handle screwdriver. But a bit I started doing, I haven't done it in a while, with Jeremy DeWitt, is I pretend to get really angry and I'd smash a plate. I have a plate here. Base face, do you think we need a little bit of plate smashing? You let me know in the comments. Rennie, if you wouldn't mind keeping an eye out for that, that'd be fantastic. But let me keep going. Thank you so much. I'll get to more of your incredibly generous super chats in just a second. But first, there are a couple things I want to get through. Just keep us sort of on track, because you know how I get. All right, so around this time with Jeremy DeWitt, excuse me, around this time, a lot of interesting things started popping up, to include, for example, his sex offender status. And I remember exactly when we found this out, when we really started doing the deep dives into Jeremy. But there was, it turns out he's a sex offender. He was convicted of lewd and lascivious battery in the 3rd degree. And I have a little bit of a video here to show you. Baseface says, chat says yes. All right, let's watch a little bit of this video, and then we'll get into some play and smashing. All right. So I have a cable there. All right. Oh, curses. I've lost my monitor. My notes. There we go. All right. Sorry. So, yeah, lewd and lascivious battered in the third degree, and I forget exactly what that entailed. Hey, Jeremy's story was not consistent, and there was an alleged victim. Like, the victim of the incident did come forward, allegedly, but all that is sealed. There's a lot that's redacted and like, protected, so it was very, very difficult to confirm that this person actually was the victim, or, you know, there are a lot of people this time that were trying to sort of gain attention from this incident. I do not know that this was the actual victim or not, but I never sort of took the chance to talk to them. But let's hear what Jeremy has to say to his paramour, Jennifer Burton. Oh, yeah, so he was married and he had a side piece. That was its own sort of side story. We'll get to that.
Your statement.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, if, ands, or buts. It's too late.
You think that this isn't as serious as it is.
Oh, I fucking know, and I'm not gonna lose you.
Were you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? Then why did
This is Jennifer Burton, his side piece, speaking, by the way.
you even talk
I didn't
to
even
them?
know you were fucking someone else. They talked to me. It was the FBI fucking I.
I would let them search my building.
Exactly. So you let them do whatever, and I let him do whatever.
And they still sent me to prison. And I'm still a fucking sex offender. And I never fucking touched that girl. Oh, I mean, I gave her hugs. And I gave her kisses because she was related to my best friends. She was like a little niece.
I thought you said you met her at a club.
They were there for a party or something.
So you didn't meet her. Yeah, that's one of the moments where it's like, oh, your story isn't consistent. Yeah, so Jeremy, I don't remember what it was, but he's a sex offender. Yay! But as if that's a good thing. Jeremy has this problem with, this is for you, Baseface. Jeremy has this problem with keeping the story straight, and he wants to be the good guy somehow, while also trying very, very hard to be the bad guy. And it's weird, because people generally will be able to justify what they're doing to themselves. But, like, there should be a limit, right? There's a limit to how much you can justify when it comes to how bad of a person you are. And Jeremy's kind of a bad person. If you consider felonies bad, right? If you're a multiple felon who can't learn from their mistakes, and you just keep doing felonies, making decisions that are terrible, I feel like that makes you a bad person. Jeremy's certainly a bad person, but here he is trying to convince people that he's not a bad person. And then this gets released. Somehow, like, where did this come from? Why would he do this? Jeremy, why? The fact that he thought he could get away with this, right? Like, oh, I'll just hold the intersection. Oh, I'll break the law. Oh, on the side of the street. Man, everyone's wrong but me. Also, I have a side, like, I'm the good guy, and I'm cheating on my wife. What are you thinking? Why would you think that's acceptable? Right? Like, that right there should tell you, maybe I'm wrong. All right. Save. And speaking of wrong, how wrong is that? It's wrong enough to get the big bopper out. Wha-bam! Okay, well, there goes that forever. Oh, you're feeling deflated, aren't you, bud? We no longer have that button. That's just gone. All right. I'm starting to remember all the things I started doing with the Jeremy Do It stuff that I stopped doing. We haven't seen the big bopper in a while. Uh-oh. Okay. Don't mind me. Ah, that was a good plate smash. Let me tell you, there are pieces everywhere. There. That one was at my feet. I gotta move that out of the way. Yeah, let's keep what if next. Oh, yeah, so Jen, speaking of Jen, she was pregnant with Jeremy's child, allegedly, and that child has disappeared somehow. I will let you come to your own conclusions about that. Yeah, I'm not, so there's a question in chat, like, did she have the kid? Does not appear she did. She's kind of gone off the radar, which, smart. That's a smart move, lady. Smart. But while we're stopped, after that blaze match, Wow, we haven't done a place match in a very long time, have we? I have a pile of them. Not a huge pile, but if I'm near a Goodwill, I'm like, oh, $3 for 5 plates. I grab them. And then I just haven't used them for a while. Yeah, I'm not wearing shoes. You're right, Charlie Girl. I am not wearing shoes. I got socks on, but no shoes. So, yeah. So, let me do some super chats real quick because you guys are incredibly generous. And why are so many of you here? Okay, not complaining. You guys are amazing. It's nice to see people so interested in some of my old stuff. Don't get too used to it. I don't intend on staying on it too long. There are a couple police impersonators that I have on my radar that I do want to talk about maybe this coming week if I have time. My month is kind of nuts. So I'm going to do what I can. Last week, I went through basically all of my reserve videos, which is why they're the short little ones. Those are my reserve videos. When I need to just public some videos that I have private. It's fine. So, yeah, it's a busy month for me. And you'll see why near the end of the month, into the beginning of next month. Partially. But, it's a different story. So, super chats, because you guys are the best. Let me see. Lizzie from Aussie. Did the girlfriend have a baby to him? Almost, but I don't believe she actually that ever fully came to fruition. I'll let you come to your own conclusion. Where else are we? Logan Marshall DeWitt, thanks so much, says, are we going to address Baloney Gate last year? Oh! All right, we can. All right, so there's another channel. They made a claim. They got a number right, but the rest of their information was wrong. I called them out on the rest of the information and said, based on what... Baloney Gate, I love it. Based on what you're saying is the source of this information, you are not correct. The number ended up being correct, but a lot of the other information this person put out was not. So, I win. Okay, so let me explain. Let me actually explain in detail. Someone said, Jeremy's getting 18 months. That's it. It's a global plea deal, which it wasn't. And he's only getting 18 months. And I went, baloney, on Reddit. And I said, 18 months seems too little unless he's getting a pretty serious probation. I think I said 18 months doesn't make sense. I don't believe 18 months, or I wouldn't expect 18 months. I remember what I said, unless he has long probation or serious probation. Again, this is a while ago. And then the other person was wrong about the probation, and I was like, boom, see what I just say? 18 months. I appreciate it. 18 months with more stuff makes more sense. But your logic that you used to come to the conclusion of whatever you came to did not work, did not add up. So this individual got very, very upset, declared war on me. I went, okay, you want war? Sure. And I said, I will give you, I think, 7 days of me saying things that you've gotten wrong. That's it. Just for 7 days, I will put out community posts of things that you are wrong about. And I mean, there was a bit of a history of them attacking other channels and me being kind of upset about it. The other channels were like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And then he went after me and I went, all right, my turn. And so gave him 7 days, and he lasted 5 before surrendering. And there was a legitimate concern amongst us on my Discord that he was going through a mental health crisis. People were impersonating me. There were sock accounts being made. He was altering images of my face to try to get me somehow. He was saying things about me that left out critical information in an attempt to make me appear wrong. Through deception, there was an actual conspiracy to defame me. Oh, it was nuts. Baloney Gate. I'm still correct. What I said is correct. 18 months doesn't make sense without a lot of probation. He got a lot of probation. I'll explain that in a bit. And the justification for the 18 months is not correct, and it still isn't. The guy's still wrong. So that was Baloney Gate. It was a bit chaotic. Oh, what a time in my life! Let me tell you. If you were there, you were there. You know. I lost some good subscribers on that one. I don't regret it. I did what I had to do. I was honest and accurate. And I gave as good as I got. I won. Not just because the other guy surrendered, but because I was correct in the end. He just thought I was saying something I wasn't. and so then try to use that to pretend I wasn't correct. That's the whole thing. I don't really want to get into it into too much detail, but it was oh boy, was it a thing. Whoo, was a thing. So this would have been probably a year and a half ago. Some of you know. Some of you in the comments know. Berger, you know. Yeah. Yeah, that was a thing. That was certainly just like, wow, this guy's actually potentially not all there. But that's fine. So, okay, sorry. Let me get into the more super chats, and then we'll get back into this. He got me done. Yeah, how easy it is to get me into my tangents. It's so easy. But thank you, Logan.
Sergeant. Hit that button. Hit that button. Hit that button. Are Chille and Jeremy brothers?
Button. Love it. I'll get to that in a second. You hold your horses. All right. Chille's ring light. Thank you so much. Says just dropping into brighten your day. Love it. Thank you so much. Base face, of course. You got the plate smashed. Thank you so much. My mom wants to know why. Let her know. Let's see. PT's an a-hole. Well, okay. Well, you said it, not me. Thank you so much. Says his dad never told him about sticking it in crazy. Regrets. Yeah. Don't stick it in crazy. If your dad's never told you this, here you go. As a stand-in father figure, don't do it. Yeah, too easy. Don't. All right. Moving on. Ryan, thank you so much. Says, Blue Bacon, did you hear about the guy who bought a voting machine for the 2020 election from Goodwill? I am very curious. No, I've not heard that, but that sounds like a good time. Kelly, that's a coin flip. Kelly, thanks so much. Says, I give up trying to do 37 on my iPhone. Hey, that 37 is a lot. Like, you don't have to. Base face is just insane. Was it Base face? Was it? Yeah, Base face did it, and then which one was the other one? I'm so sorry. I have it in my head, and I don't think it's correct. Hold on. Some of you hooligans, I'm so sorry. You guys are insane. That's a coin flip. That was not a good coin flip. I don't know what it was. There we go. That's a good one. That's a tails. That's a tails. You can't tell from that distance, I'm sure, but that's tails. Oh, thank you. It's starting to hit. No, Shelly, you jerk. Thank you so much, Shelly. Oh, boy, the Canadian, eh? It's a surgeon. Hit that button, eh? Sorry, I'm sorry if I'm offending people. I have a lot of fun doing that, though. Are Chille and Jeremy brothers? I assume not, but again, I'd love to see them in the same room. That is a coin flip. That's a heads. I gotta find that because I need it. All right. All right. Oh! The screwdrivers made me soft. There we go. Because now there's not a button. It's like knocked it off the table. It's fine. All right. And, Pete Napolitano. Ba-ba-da-boopy, Pete. You jerk. Pete. Okay, thank you so much. My mom wants to know why. Why are you so generous? That's a heads. Okay. I'm sorry. Look, I wouldn't normally do this, but it's Jeremy to win. It's a party. Don't get used to this. Do not. We're doing like half. Oh, glass bottle of orange juice. So weird, huh? So weird. I'm going to zoom in so you can't see what I'm doing. There we go. It's a tiny little thing. Hopefully I get to pour it back into the bottle and not consume it. A cork and apple juice. Who would have heard it? Let's go crazy. Thank you, Pete, though. Thank you. All right. Back on track. Chicago. I told you to talk about Chicago. So there's this incident. There's so many incidents. There's just nothing but incidents. Where Jeremy went to Chicago and he was buying an ambulance because he was trying to start. We saw the ambulance thing with WWE shenanigans where he's like, oh, emergency services, Metro State Emergency Services. And in Florida, in many parts of the country, in the United States, you can, in fact, run a private, non-emergency, ambulance service, like sort of like an ambulance taxi, where you might have EMTs that are licensed, I guess, but Jeremy is a registered sex offender, so he can't actually get the license to do that. Pretty sure the license was under someone else's name for that attempt. He never actually went through with it because I think as he was starting to build that, all the charges came down on him. I think. Again, this is a long time ago, so I don't remember. But this is where the term, the long screwdriver, orange handle, or whatever the equivalent, whatever the correct quote is, came from. I guess I could give you some details because we're going to be skipping around. I don't know what we're going to miss. Basically, Jeremy was in Chicago to buy this ambulance. He was renting some apartment somewhere temporarily. It's probably like an Airbnb situation. I don't know the exact details. But he illegally parked his car. His car was getting towed. He sent his wife out to deal with it. The tow truck driver had to get the vehicle out of park, put it in neutral, so he had a screwdriver to make that happen. And so as Rania, Jeremy's wife, approached this man, he came out with this long-handle orange screwdriver. And Jeremy's like, oh, he's attacking my wife because he's stealing my vehicle or something. Again, this might not be correct. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll get to that when I get to that. You guys are insane. Thank you so much for being so incredibly generous. I don't say it enough. I don't know why you do it. It really does help. Yeah. Well, I'll save it to the end of the stream. Things I want to talk to you about. Future this. So Jeremy is like the third or the fifth floor, depending on when he tells the story. I don't remember the exact details. But he starts taking chairs, throwing them down at the tow truck driver. Which, don't do that. Shockingly. That's illegal. But police arrive, and Jeremy very heavily implies that he is law enforcement without actually saying it. And so they're like, there's a whole mess, and I really wish they had arrested him for it, as do we all. But I'll show you parts of that video, of course.
State certified federal agents. Well, then why is he acting like such a moron? And just trying to make up shit. Apologize. Do whatever you got to do so he doesn't press.
This brings back so many memories.
The charges at this time. You're going to have to eat humble pie. Yes, because you let your temper get the best of you in this one.
But Sergeant,
you got to control your temper.
Roger.
So why don't we talk to him and see if you can talk to him? Can you apologize without being snotty?
Yes, Sergeant.
And just eat humble pie. And I'm doing this because you're an officer. Am I correct?
Yes, Sergeant.
No. So Jeremy had this idea like, oh, I'm not. Officer doesn't necessarily mean police officer. You can be an officer of anything. You can be. He said he was a state certified employee or whatever. Like, no, you're not. He's like, oh, I have a state issued license. That makes me state certified. So he said a lot of words to get people to convince people. He did this a lot. He would say things in a way, and respect for how good he was at it. Because so I did interrogations. One of the things I was pretty good at in my criminal investigation career. And there are things that you do. You say things in certain ways sometimes that allow people to come to their own conclusions. And then if they call you on it, you can back down and say, no, like that's not what I meant at all. Because, you came to that conclusion. I didn't say that. And so Jeremy does that a lot. And he did that incredibly strongly here in Chicago, where he just went, I agree. And then when we got to Dr. Phil, which comes later, we'll go over that, when he was called out for this, he went, well, you can be a state certified anything. You can be an officer of anything. I could be an officer of McDonald's. I think it was probably one of the things he said. So Jeremy just, obviously they thought he was a police officer, and I'm sure he knew they thought that. And he just went, I don't have to correct them because officer does not mean police officer. Which is not technically wrong. An argument for that can be made, but like, bruh, you were already in so much trouble at this point. Stop. Bonking. Yeah. This is not the usual police, real world police intro. I'm white. Don't know how to dance. This is what I do. I'm in the club just sort of bouncing. Just, oh, yeah. Yeah, not pretty. Not pretty to look at. Let's keep going.
The little girl that came out and yelled at my wife, she's the one that called the number. She's the one that called the number, not the property supervisor. So when she came running down here, because I was getting the phone to come behind her, he had the screwdriver in his hand. So I threw the chair and it hit the boom of the truck. So then he drove away. Then she comes out and starts screaming at us, saying that she's the super she. Some girl that lives
Ooh, snap, son.
But we're renting from a real estate company that's legal. It's like you book them through booking.com.
Airbnb?
Yeah.
Yes,
And they said we can legally park here.
So far, everything we've been is proven for everything since
So
we've been here.
my wife runs down. He pulls the long screwdriver, one of those more screwdrivers. It's very long in the back of the truck. Starts
Very
going
long.
towards her.
Very
so
long.
I immediately throw the chairs. When he showed back up,
I'm sorry. Let me see if I can find the actual bit where he says orange. I don't know where it happened. I'm trying to search it. I don't know. Yeah, long handle orange screwdriver. Whatever. It's fine. So yeah, that was that. And let's skip forward.
We'll try, sir. Hold on. One
Skip it around.
Apologize.
it's a long screwdriver, orange handle. How do I?
There it is. Oh, I randomly found it. Long screwdriver, orange handle. We'll just to commemorate that moment specifically. Shucks, I suppose I could pour myself a little bit of a long screwdriver orange handle there. A toast to Jeremy DeWitt almost getting out of prison, or jail, because they're different. And I use them very interchangeably, those two terms, and Rennie hates it. Fair enough. That is very tasty, though. Very tasty. So, yeah.
I know he has it if he didn't pull it on us. Long screwdriver, orange handle. Come on.
Oh, yeah, David says, in the beginning, he tells his wife to get his badge. Yes. So, yeah, he's like, get my badge for reasons. Like, why? What would your badge do? Why would that do anything? Bruh, like, you're not, like, what do you expect? You expect them to be convinced by the badge? It was a mess. I am shocked they didn't get in, that Chicago didn't file charges. But they didn't. Chicago's got a lot of problems that they have to deal with, of course. So, like, if they can just get rid of this, they will. And that's a lot of things. So law enforcement will often, if it's a minor crime, and people are like, all right, I won't press charges. And they do in this video say, you apologize to him, he might not press charges. And then the guy doesn't press charges. Like, if you don't press charges, you got tons of other crimes to deal with. Great solution. But shame. What a shame.
Hey, how do I know he has it if he didn't pull it on me?
Oh, he wants to talk to you. State certified federal agents.
Well, then why is he acting like such a moron?
There, state certified federal agent. I don't know that he said state certified federal agent. He probably said state certified agent, and they assumed federal. And then, of course, Jeremy didn't correct them. Logan, hey, it was good to have you here, though. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Good to have a lot of you back. I see a lot of very familiar names. It's good to see you all. It really is. A lot of you have stuck around since. Some of you haven't been around for a while. But it's good to have you back. I really appreciate it. I know I get all sappy all the time, but like I love doing this. I love putting out information. I love helping people understand things that are potentially complicated. Because I know that if you don't have a lot of experience with law and law enforcement, a lot of things might be confusing and scary. And I love being able to address this in a fun way. Not everybody likes it. Not everybody likes the way I do it. But I like doing it, and it's how I'm going to probably keep doing it. Originally, when I started, I was not very fun. And my old stuff is garbage. It really is. The information is still good, generally. But the presentation is absolute trash. And I found the way I like to do it. I found people that like the way I do it. Heck, I can't complain, really, can I? So, again, thank you guys so much for being with me through all of this. This is kind of where it started. It's Jeremy DeWitt for me. It's not where I started, but it's where my channel really gained traction. So, again, thank you.
And just trying to make up shit. You gotta talk to this guy then and see if you can talk him to Paul.
Oh, sorry. I've been told to say hi to Pat. Pat Gator? Cheetah? Pat, I'm sorry. Pat. Hey, hi. How's it going? How you doing? How's it going? Hi. Hello there. I'm told to say hello, and I'm very happy to say hello to you because, of course, You are a constant joy in my life. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Hello.
Apologize. Do whatever you got to do so he doesn't press charges at this time. You're going to have to eat humble pie.
Yes,
because you let your temper get the best of you in this one.
But Sergeant, is the screwdriver not in the truck?
The screwdriver was in the bag. Ooh, he takes it. Uses it to take everything's on camera. He uses it to take off.
Sergeant, when I called his supervisor just now, they said he wasn't trying to hook up our vehicle. So when he came back, we didn't.
Bro, your supervisor doesn't know. The tow truck supervisor does not know what's happening. He's not there. Anyways, yeah, that's Chicago incident. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. Throat. Dry. Suck on a cough drop, if you don't mind. Yeah, so Jeremy, unfortunately we don't have video. Someone did. Oh, someone said they had video of the incident of some of the stuff. And they said, they asked me to pay them a lot of money for it. I think it was like $500, which is not what I'm willing to spend. I could be wrong about that. I basically just told them, if you have evidence of a crime, send it to the police. And they're like, no, pay me. I don't know what you have. I have no idea what you have. No. Feels like a scam. A lot of people were jumping in on this Jeremy DeWitt stuff. There's a lot of like, do I trust you? Do I not? I don't know. Yeah, so someone said, like, I think they might have said, I don't remember exactly what it was because I didn't really care that much. I think they might have said they had security footage from the building or something like that. I was like, cool, send it to the police. I'm not going to buy it off you. I don't need that. Because he didn't get convicted. He didn't get charged. So, he didn't. He might have gotten charged and it got dropped. But he didn't get convicted, so I don't care. If you send it to the police and then something happens, now I'm interested, but now I can get it from the police. So yeah, I didn't pay $500 for it because at the time my channel was small and I didn't have that money. And now where my channel is being at where it's at, which is not something that makes sense in the English language, grammatically, where my channel is now, I still wouldn't spend $500 on it. So even with your incredible generosity, there are better ways to spend that money than a single video. So anyway, isn't that right, Train? Yeah, that's right. So, might make an appearance later. We'll see. Next, what do we have? So that's the Chicago incident, and we're just sort of skipping through some stuff, watching some craziness. There's too much to go over. There's just too much insanity. I'm gonna try to get through this. We're getting close to the end. We're probably going to pass 2 hours on this stream, but we're getting there. So we have Chicago. That's where we are. Where's next to my notes? The tax issues. So Jeremy, I don't have a video for this, but Jeremy liked to claim that the people that worked for him were contractors, not employees. And there were strong indicators that this was to avoid paying taxes on their employment, which definitely we are of the impression that he was committing some sort of tax fraud. His employees were not contractors, as far as any reliable source could tell us. People who were experts in that sort of part of the law disagreed with his assertions that these were contractors and not employees. Basically, it was a contractor, usually a contractor, and don't quote me on this for every state, but my understanding is generally a contractor has to already work for a company and then be contracted out to your company. But his contractors did not work for any other companies. Like, he wasn't hiring from another company. They worked for him. So that's an employee. Perhaps a part-time employee, but that's an employee. Now, there were, from reliable sources, there were statements that Jeremy was being looked into for tax evasion, possible tax evasion, and that charges were pending in case the impersonation charges didn't succeed. So they'd have something else to file afterwards if they didn't get what they wanted, but I guess they got what they wanted. And I don't know if that's actually true. That's just the information I got. That, yeah, we're looking into him for the tax stuff. If the impersonation stuff isn't effective, we can't get him for that, we'll get him to the tax stuff, and that will get him off the road. Really, the whole purpose was get him off the road. He's a danger to everybody. But to my knowledge, that was never filed. It might be filed in the future. There's still a chance. It might be waiting until he's out of jail to do it, but I can't say for sure. Now, next issue he had was an insurance issue. Allegations of potential insurance issues for his vehicle. So Jeremy had a lot of vehicles. Many of them were the sort of same vehicle. And I did talk to some of his former employees. Some of them are really great people. They just got sucked into a thing they didn't understand. And they got, some of them got so much hate. There were a lot of people on the internet when the Jeremy DeWitt stuff was coming out that were just, they were very upset at a lot of people that maybe didn't deserve it as much as the internet thought they did. And I talked to I talked to a few of the employees. And a lot of the ones I talked to were actually really nice people. They just made a mistake. They didn't know enough about the situation to understand how much trouble this all was. But good people in a bad situation. And I love to give people second chances. I love to give them the benefit of the doubt. And if you're willing to learn, I'm willing to help you. That's always been my my sort of stance on things. But even with Jeremy DeWitt, initially I was like, I'm going to help you, bruh. And people were like, why are you helping him? Like, because the goal was to stop him from endangering people. If I can help him understand that what he's doing is illegal, great. That's a step in the right direction. But then he started attacking me, and I was like, oh, okay. I've done this a lot this stream. Game on. So, yeah, a lot of hate towards some people that I think maybe didn't deserve it nearly as much as they got it. But one of the things that I was told was that Jeremy did not insure all of his vehicles, or certainly he didn't insure them for business purposes. Many of his vehicles, it would seem, were insured for personal use, not for business use, through, I forget what the insurance company was, but they canceled his insurance. And then he ended up getting some paperwork for a couple vehicles, and then allegedly copying them and putting them into the other vehicles so that if any vehicle got pulled over, unless they check the VIN number, it's going to look like that paperwork is correct. And that way he avoided paying a lot of money on all of this stuff that he had to pay money on. Those are the allegations. I don't know if it's true. He's not convicted of this, but this is what people were telling me. There was an incident where Jeremy's brother, Dylan Voigt? I forget how it's pronounced. Almost crashed a vehicle into a taxi, and that's sort of where we saw this, where Jeremy pretended it was him that was in the accident, and we believe it's because he wanted to control the situation, make sure these documents were handed over in a manner that would not draw attention to potentially their inaccuracies. Now, this is a lot of speculation because it's never ended up in court. There is a civil lawsuit between Jeremy or his brother, and then the taxi company that this all happened with. That's still ongoing. We might talk about that in a bit. We might not. That is still an ongoing civil case that will probably start proceeding when Jeremy gets out of jail. So those were his insurance issues. That was a whole thing that happened. Oh, Jeremy liked to misspell his name. That was a thing that was pretty common. So Jeremy had a bunch of business filings. In a lot of his business filings, he spelled his name wrong. How do you spell your own name wrong? Well, you would do it intentionally if you wanted people to not know that you were a sex offender. So you put it down, and then when people search Jeremy, instead of spelling it Jeremy, but Jeremy, you're not going to find Jeremy DeWitt as a sex offender. There are a lot of filings that have the incorrect name. A little surprised they didn't get him for that. They probably could have, but I assume they're like, well, we have some bigger charges. We'll focus on that. We don't have to worry about it. But I continue to believe that Jeremy was trying to hide the fact that he was a sex offender from people who wanted to hire him for his services. But then what happened? Dr. Phil. Jeremy was on the Dr. Phil show. And let me explain that and how that went down from my perspective. I said it before. I'll say it again. Not all of you know what the situation was. But I was covering Jeremy DeWitt. I was making videos about him. And I got an email from someone claiming to be a producer for Dr. Phil. Now, this was not the first time I had an email from someone claiming to be somebody that wanted to do a story. Like, there was a newspaper that wanted to do a story on Jeremy DeWitt, and then COVID hit, and they didn't run the story. So this would have been around the time of COVID, 2019 probably. 2019, 2020, somewhere around there. And Dr. Phil had heard about Jeremy DeWitt, or his producers had, and they were looking for people to try to explain the situation to them. Because this, at the time, was a currently unfolding thing. A lot of rabbit holes, a lot of directions to go. And they sent me an email saying, can we call you? I said, yes, like, let's do a call. So I called and they asked a bunch of questions and said, hey, can you sort of like put this timeline in order for us? And I did, because I've been covering this pretty much exclusively on my channel. And they went, great, thank you so much. They sent another email. They said, can we call you again? We have more questions. I said, yes. So we do a second phone call. They asked me more questions, but this time it was more focused on me. They said, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts on this? Not just, what's the timeline? What do you specifically think? And they end it with, obviously, you can handle being in front of a camera. You know a lot of stuff off the top of your head. We like what you said. We would be very interested in inviting you to be on the Dr. Phil show. And I went, that sounds like a good time. Here's some information that is not correct. Like, what's your name? What's your birthday? What's your whatever? And I gave him a bunch of information that was not correct. I then went on Twitter. I found the producer that I've been talking to. I sent them a private message saying, hey, it's me, this person that I just got a phone call from that you were speaking to. Words are hard. Someone claiming to be you. Let me rephrase it. Someone claiming to be you called me and we talked. Can you confirm that this was you speaking to me? And they went, yes, I can confirm that. Great. By the way, the information I gave you was not correct. And I went, yeah, I figured, because of some of the information you gave seemed a little unlikely. So I gave them my correct information. I said, I'd love to come down. They said, great, you're going to have to drive. I think it was like 1,500 miles from Seattle to Los Angeles. Lovely drive. Very long drive. Rennie can attest to this. She helped me stay awake for a bunch of it. Oh, boy. It was delightful. They put me in a hotel. They paid for some of my food, not all of my food. And I wasn't allowed to talk about it for like 3 months. But I got in front of Dr. Phil. I did a little video for them to be like, here's the introduction. So they call you and they go, yeah, they ask you a bunch of questions. You answer the questions. They cut your answers into basically an intro to you, whoever you are. And so I'm sitting backstage with 3 other people. 2 other people? 2 other people. So I'd be like, why are you here? Are you here for Jeremy DeWitt? I'm here for Jeremy DeWitt. And one of them was a polygrapher who actually made it onto the episode. One of them was someone who worked in Los Angeles doing funeral escorts. He did not make it into the show. It was cut for time because Jeremy wouldn't shut up. So we're backstage, and then it's my turn to go on stage, and they play my intro, and it's very intense. It's very, very intense. I have to walk out, be like, oh, hello, Jeremy. This is you in person with your lawyer. Oh, God, don't serve me paperwork. Amir is here. Amir seemed like a pretty nice guy. I'll be honest with you. Amir being Jeremy's attorney. Jeremy's like, I'm very disappointed in you, young man, for whatever reason. He's having fun with it, whatever. Short guy. And so I sat in my chair. Chair was very high. Feet didn't reach the floor. It's kind of weird. It's fine. Dr. Phil was there. He's like, hello? I'm like, hello. And that was it. So people were like, what was Dr. Phil like? I just go, he was professional. I don't know. He just went, like, his staff introduced me. He went, okay, hello. Wasn't allowed within 8 feet of him. Wasn't allowed to handshake because, like, this was the absolute height of COVID. Tests all around. Masks unless we're on stage. Distances. Oh, it was the height of it. And I'll be honest with you. Paramount Studios, I believe, is where this took place. Everyone there was so lovely. Every person I interacted with, incredibly friendly. Oh, Paramount. Oh. So good. And then I said my piece. Now, here's where it got interesting. And I don't really know if I want to... Let me see if I can pull up the clip of me. I don't want to get claimed because of it, but we'll get to it. Contractually, Jeremy and his attorney had told Dr. Phil that they'd be on the show as long as certain things weren't brought up. So you could only bring up stuff he was currently being charged with, nothing else. So I couldn't bring up stolen valor. I couldn't bring up his sex offender status. I couldn't bring up anything like that. So when I was introduced, Dr. Phil was like pointing out Jeremy's uniform that he wore sometimes. Like, this is a military badge that Jeremy's not earned, but he wears. Something like this. And here to talk about this is someone who served in the military. blue bacon. And I'm like, I can't talk about that. I am contractually prohibited from that. And so I sort of deflected, said my piece, and Jeremy didn't shut up. And I have to say a single thing after that. I just got to sit there and go, wow, look at how this works. Like, this is how TV works from behind the scenes. And I tell you, when you watch the episode, what you're seeing on the episode is pretty much exactly what is being filmed. Like, there are very few edits. They film it like they show it. It's nuts. And so being able to sit there, even though I didn't get to say much, and I don't care, just sitting there going, oh, well, you can probably see me at some point in the episode going, like, glancing over, like, oh, wow. Oh, that's some fun equipment that I kind of want. There's a whole thing. Let me see if I can pull up
The
my
course
bid.
of time, the name of the charge was
Oh, here we go.
confiscated by law enforcement. There's even an online channel of a gentleman by
That's part of the interview, by the way.
the name of Sergeant Blue Bacon. He's interviewed me once.
He started his own company.
Yeah, I made a musical. I made a couple songs about Jeremy.
Within the law.
In a way that makes him think that he's not doing anything wrong. And now that 10 years worth of trouble has caught up with him, everything's crashing down around him. I have a background in military police. I'm a private investigator.
They loved that shot. I asked them if they wanted that, and they got so excited that I had the badge to hold up. I love that they blurred this screen, though.
Investigator. It's my
they'll
job
show
to find out
hands
the
in a
facts.
second.
I started
think,
the
yeah, those aren't my hands. That's not me.
social media page where I'm known as Sergeant Blue Bacon, which allowed me to explain legal aspects of complicated things to people all across the world.
So these are cut. A lot of this is cut from, like, they'd ask questions to whatever, and they'd cut it into. Oh, it's great. It's so great.
Earlier,
but I'm sitting backstage like, I have to go out after this. Like, I didn't realize it was going to be this intense. And I think there was more when I went out, and then they cut some of it for time. But, like, there was some intense stuff.
this year, I discovered a YouTube channel that had acquired footage of Jeremy DeWitt and his company in action. He himself is quite a character.
Dumb in a blue car.
I posted the videos on my YouTube channel, and I had the chance to interview Jeremy.
I started to allow my security guys to start wearing tasers and the pepper ball weapons.
Oh, that picture, by the way, of him with the helmet, that's his mugshot. He was very unhappy that I used that.
I started to allow my security guys to start wearing tasers and the pepper ball weapons.
Law enforcement, so that I'm angry. The way he dresses, the shirt, the badge, he wears a bulletproof vest, carries a baton.
Oh, God, that shot.
He plays the part well. Most people think.
Yeah, so this is, I think it's his Florida office. The Dr. Phil show, like, sent people to get some B-roll footage of this. So good.
That he is a police officer. In fact, when they ask him if he is a police officer, he doesn't usually say no.
It's true.
Law enforcement, identify yourself to me. What agency?
We're with Metro State. We're a state-certified agency.
He says that he's.
One of the best things about this, so I said a lot of things to the producers, and I, like, put them down, like, here's the information you need to know, whatever. There are a lot of things I stated that Dr. Phil stated in the episode. I'm like, oh, I gave that to his producers, because he had, like, a thing that he'd read off of for certain things, not for everything. Like, he'd read off a chunk, and this is something I do as well. I learned a lot from being there. And then he'd go to the person, and he'd do his whole bit. And there were things he said that were things that I'd specifically told his producers. And I went, yes, those are my words coming out of Dr. Phil. Thank you. It was amazing. And people were like, oh, Dr. Phil, he's not a real doctor. Like, I'm sure, I don't know, maybe in the comments as well. So Dr. Phil has a doctorate, so it still counts. But he let his medical doctor title expire for a variety of reasons. Regardless of how you feel about his show, I was there, and it was a lot of fun.
He's a state-certified agent, which doesn't really clear it up. It's clear that he isn't.
Anyway,
this people to fight him in the middle of the street. If
Stop pretending you're a police officer.
He's
anyway,
that uniform.
Here we go.
It's not when people.
So this is where I was like, I gotta change the subject because Dr. Phil just introduced this, like, starting with military stuff. I can't talk about the military stuff. I specifically prohibited from it.
James, thanks for being here.
Well, that's me.
Thank you.
I had a dressing room and everything. It was amazing. These are not my clothes. I came with clothes, and they're like, oh my God, you actually came with real clothes. Thank you so much. They were very excited about it because a lot of people on the show apparently don't come with real clothes. But then they're like, how do you like a lavender shirt? I'm like, that sounds like a fun time. They went, we also have things that would go with it. Like the boots I'm wearing are not mine. I think the pants are mine, but the jacket, the shirt, and the boots are not. Like, we like what you brought. You brought some good stuff. But I went, dress me, boys. I didn't say it like that, though. That's not how I said it. But I was like, You're the experts. Let's go. So these are not my clothes for the most part.
Bothered you that he's not, when people ask him, are you a law enforcement officer, he deflects and then says, I'm a state agent.
Sure.
State agency and state agent.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would like to start this by saying, looking at that uniform.
And yeah, this is where, because he introduced me, starting with the military stuff, and I'm like, I gotta, because the idea, and I don't know if, I think this was before commercials, we're not gonna see it here, but he'd been like, here to talk about with the military medals, and so I was worried that Dr. Phil was trying to get me down that path and be like, how do you feel about him wearing that, the thing that you've actually earned? And I was like, hard stop, let me say the piece that needs to get out before like Jeremy's lawyer steps in and stops this whole thing, in case you're wondering.
Nothing on there is illegal, individually. The totality of the circumstances.
Oh, totality of the circumstances, such a good line. I love what I did that day. Today. I love today. Today I'm doing great. I'm doing great. That day was a good day.
Is where this becomes a problem. If I'm driving down the road and I see someone in an intersection wearing that.
Let me just agree with myself real quick. Yes! Sorry, I'm just being really stupid.
I'm not from Florida, so I can't speak for that. But that specifically, if I saw someone wearing that, stopping traffic, directing them, and I thought, well, that certainly looks like a police officer, because standing, 15, 20 feet away from it, I wouldn't be able to say, no, that's not a law enforcement uniform, having been law enforcement. And I went, hey.
That face. What you don't see in this episode is Amir grabbing Jeremy's leg throughout to be like, shut up. Now, I saw in the comments Amir's an idiot. Amir's very clever. Amir's a very good attorney from what I've seen. But once you have a client, once you've gone through enough with them, it's very hard to say, nope, I'm done. It's very, very difficult. Amir knew. Amir knew that Jeremy was doing the wrong thing. I'm sure of it. But I think he regretted it eventually. I don't think he's been paid fully. I don't quote me on that. But Amir's very clever. Honestly, and I've said this before, if I was in Florida, I needed an attorney and Amir was an option, I would take Amir. That's not a joke. Amir did what he could very well.
Excuse me, sir, are you a police officer? And he said, I'm a state certified agent. Well, that tells me nothing.
I think if you take that badge and you look at it, does it have a building on it that looks like the building that's on a lot of law enforcement badges? Yes.
So, okay, so the badge Jeremy uses is a Los Angeles, like, LAPD badge, but with Metro State on it. So, yeah, that was basically all I said, and then I just sat there. That studio is freezing, by the way, so I'm just, like, trying not to start shaking because it's so cold. But because you don't want the makeup to, you don't want it to start, like, dripping down your face. Here, it's very warm, unfortunately. We have an AC, so it's better than it used to be. But yeah, that was basically my bit on Dr. Phil, which was like totality of the circumstances, which is what the most important bit of this was. And then Jeremy didn't shut up, so I didn't have to answer any follow-up questions. It was amazing. So that was Dr. Phil. And then like I wasn't allowed to talk about it, and there were rumors spiraling about this whole thing. And it was just like, maybe, possibly, can't say for sure. Oh God, there's Jeremy's thing. So the next thing we have is the domestic violence call, 3/15/2021, where there were concerns that Jeremy had struck in some way, committed domestic violence against his wife, Rania. And let me just give you a brief little through that video. Oh, that classic intro. James, thank you. I'll get to that. Skip. It's a 50-minute video. We're not going to do all of it.
When the know who I am and I know where I've been, officer. Listen. So, with all due respect, I understand, but my wife's on.
Yeah, that's how it works. In a potential domestic violence situation, you separate the two people or multiple people and get their stories individually.
The floor, and my daughter's on the floor over here. When the rescue operators are.
Oh yeah, his wife had a child. His child, I presume. So he had a brand new baby and all of this.
Done with her, then you can question her all the fuck you guys want.
Whoa, language!
Okay? Until my wife's safety is clear and she's in a bus moving, then you can go to the hospital and do whatever reports you think you're gonna do.
Other than that, right now, my wife's priority is the most important.
Are you done yet?
I am, but I'm not walking outside. If you're going to arrest me for resisting because I'm not going outside because my wife's on the ground,
That can't
then
happen.
we'll have some lawsuit later on down the road.
Okay, that sounds great. Now you can step outside.
Step away. Step away.
Yeah, if you decline to step outside during this investigation, because that's pretty standard procedure, is to separate the parties. Yeah, you can be arrested for interference or obstruction or something. Depends on the state. But yes. So the situation to this, and I'm not going to get into too much detail because the video honestly isn't like, oh, it's so exciting. I'll just explain it to you. Because we're almost at the 2-hour mark. We have 60 minutes left, 50 minutes left in a few seconds. So I don't want this to run too long. Basically, something happened. There is footage out there of Rania like running out of the house, yelling like, "Help! Help! Help!" And then Jeremy gets her back inside, and so a lot of people are like, "Oh, is it because she was running from him?" That's a question that is certainly a valid question. But basically, police were called. Police arrived. Rania was laying on the ground in the kitchen, and they went, "Oh, what happened?" And the story was she fell and hit her head. Now, of course, you go, but then why did she run outside and yell, "Help"? The counter argument to that, or the story that Jeremy gave was she hit her head, she was bleeding, she got scared, she started freaking out. Maybe she has a fear of blood. She went outside to be like, "Help me," and then I got her back inside because, you know, I'm here to help her. And then we laid her back down where she hit her head in the same place on the linoleum, because the linoleum isn't going to get stained by blood, whereas everything else is carpeted, for example, because she had a gash to her head. Head wounds bleed a lot. And there were a lot of concerns that this might be domestic violence, and I agree that it is certainly a possibility, but without Rania testifying against him, Jeremy's story does add up. It could certainly be correct. Is it correct? I don't know. But could it be correct? Yes. And without testimony to the contrary, there's not really much law enforcement can do. And Jeremy had been accused of domestic violence before. Like, this is not the first time. And it wouldn't be the last time. But that was a situation that came up with potential domestic violence, for those of you who remember. Because we're doing throwbacks to the old days. The piano. Rennie, the piano? Remind me what you mean by the piano. So anyway, I'll keep tabs on that. After that, there was a bit of an issue of law enforcement. So there were a couple of officers that were really sort of sticking it to DeWitt. It was Sergeant Vidler and Corporal Ramsey. And they had been on his case. I think they're the ones that were like, hold on a second, let's actually check what he's saying, see if these statutes actually do what he says they do. And there was an incident on 3/23/21, if I remember correctly, where Sergeant Vidler pulled Jeremy over for carrying a concealed weapon. Oh, I see. Ready? Yes, the piano. They showed the piano. I have a player piano, by the way. It's great. I'm looking for another one. You can never have too many player pianos. So good. Anyway, sorry. She was saying the thing. So Jeremy got pulled over, and he was pulled over for having a concealed weapon. The argument was from Sergeant Vidler that the concealed weapon, it was a concealed weapon because it was a pepperball gun that was concealed in the holster in such a way that made it look like a real weapon. And I believe he made the argument that he had been told by lawyers that this was a valid arrest. I'm not so sure. At the time, I had stated that I agree with the initial detention, pulling him over for it, to check to see if it is a real weapon or not, because if you can't tell it's a real weapon, that's fair. He's not allowed to have a weapon. He's a sex offender. He's a felon. But once you determine it is a pepperball, that sort of goes out the window at that point. Sergeant Vidler has maintained his stance that the arrest was legitimate, and he had been told by the appropriate people that it was legitimate, but he was punished for it. Nice guy. I have had the opportunity to talk to him. Seems like a great guy. He's had a pretty fantastic career. Not without controversy, but you don't work in law enforcement for as long as he did without controversy. And certainly the controversy he had, he was able to explain in a reasonable manner. So, Sergeant Vidler, if you're still out there, I hope you're doing great. Thank you so much for your involvement in this case. It really is a shame. Really, really is a shame that your department did not see this in the same way you did. But that was that. Jeremy said he had been dragged along the ground during that arrest, and then video came out that proved that it wasn't. I'm probably not going to find that video for you, but there was that. Now, the video I will find you is his alleged assault against his girlfriend, not his wife, his girlfriend. Remember his paramour, Jennifer Burton. And if I pull that up here...
I didn't touch her.
Oh, that's my video.
What? Don't you understand? I fucking honestly.
Yeah, and I can believe you like a hole in the head.
So what happened, and we won't watch this whole thing, because of course we won't. So there's an incident. Jeremy allegedly slammed a car door on Jen's leg, which is assault. Not necessarily domestic. It really depends on how Florida defines domestic. But certainly assault. And there's an incident where Jennifer called police. Called 911 and was sounded very upset, very concerned for her safety.
He's a convicted felon, so he does not carry a firearm usually.
Oh, Friday is here. Friday has some excellent videos and stuff I didn't cover. Friday went down some of those rabbit holes way further than I wanted to. And Friday International Operations, go check that channel out if you want more DeWitt content, more than I ever put out, for certain. Since we're going to ignore his fake burglaries, his insurance claims, I'm trying to stick to the main things. So he had some insurance claims and fake burglaries, and that was a whole mess. Friday, if you want to tell him in the chat, by all means, please. Or you can go to Friday's channel and check that out yourself. I have no problem with that. But I had to streamline this. I had to cut that out. That was something I almost talked about, but I was just like, I can't talk about everything. There's too much. Oh, it was insane when it happened. It's still insane now. Sorry. Friday International has put out some fantastic stuff. Skipping! Yeah, we managed to get our hands on a bunch of footage and put it together in this. So that's what we're watching right now.
Come on, man! I didn't touch her.
Cost, this is that Jeremy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I'm asking.
I didn't touch her.
Cost, I'm asking.
You already know. I think I had the 911 audio as well. I don't know. We're not going to worry about it too much.
Yes. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
Of course, we can cancel the channel.
I'm in like 6 feet.
We should probably just need one more. But we're good.
This is ridiculous, Sergeant. I didn't touch her, sir. I have it on video. She throws the key at me and walks away and calls 911. I have it on my camera. I didn't fucking touch her.
All right, we'll sort it out, dude.
Oh no, Mav. Oh no. Yeah. Okay. So while we're waiting for Mav's thing to hit, Mav, why? I appreciate it so much. Oh my god, I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. But yeah, so that was an incident, and there's a pretty.
That's not a firearm, Sergeant. Sergeant.
Cheers to you.
Sergeant.
As much as I'd love to stay, I gotta dip out early. I'm on vacation in Myrtle Beach and Mini Mav wants to walk the beach tonight.
Hey.
Have a good night, Blue and chat.
Mav, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much. Go have fun. Myrtle Beach. I hear good things. Never been, but I hear good things. Keep it classy. Have a good time. No, it was wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much. And this one's to you. Now, I'll the whole alleged domestic thing. So, Jennifer had some incidences before where there was a potential domestic violence. And I am of the belief, I was then, I still am now, that she used these situations to have control over Jeremy. Basically, like, oh, you hit me? Well, I could file, charges against you. I could report this to the government and hold you accountable for your actions. Or you could give me money or a place to stay. Right? I believe that is what how she used this to her advantage. Now, it's a bad situation. Being assaulted in exchange for financial security or a place to stay or whatever. If this is what was happening, oh boy, I don't like it, but I understand it. I don't like it. So there's this incident, and I think the evidence was just too strong against Jeremy. And in the past, when this had happened, Jennifer would be very cooperative initially. He'd be like, oh, look, Jeremy, look what I could do. I could ruin you, allegedly. But then in court, she would not be cooperative. And so the charges would never go anywhere. Presumably to be like, oh, Jeremy paid me off. Again, these are allegations. I'm not saying this as truth. These are assumptions, beliefs based on evidence that I've received. But in this case, with Jeremy already facing so many charges, the court decided, nope, don't care if she testifies or not. We don't care if she's going to be super cooperative. We're going to revoke Jeremy's bond, which is a whole incident, and Jeremy is very upset about that. And before I get into the next bit, which is, this is where it gets real nuts, and when it comes to sort of the case and the plea agreements and where things start sort of finalizing. Before I get into that, I'm going to read some super chats because you guys are incredible. Griff Guy, good to have you here. Thanks so much. Says, tell your mom the reason we're generous because you kept us entertained and somewhat sane during the pandemic and have nothing better to do. I'll let her know. Sometimes she watches these things, which is like, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. She's very concerned about all of this, by the way. I have a coin flip, don't I? Pete, did I flip a coin for that? Or was that the refill? I don't know. It's very informal. I don't really know what's happening. We'll drink about it at the end of the night. Don't worry. I appreciate Griff Guy. Thank you. PT's backup channel. Thank you so much. Says, where's my badge, Rania? Where's my badge? Got my badge. That's the Chicago incident. Harbor's Law. Thank you so much. Says, cease and desist. I refuse. But thank you. Honey Badger, thanks so much. Says, Mama Bacon, we find your son charming and entertaining. We also appreciate his honesty. Well done, Mama Bacon. I'll let her know. She'll appreciate that. She did a good job raising me, I'll be honest with you. Not perfect, no parent is, but I'll be honest with you, don't tell her this. There are things I look back on and say, oh man, I wish this had happened this way. But I don't know if it would have been right. The way she parented and the way my father parented, they made me who I am. I'm pretty happy with who I am. They did great. And although I look back and go, oh man, what if they did this? That could have changed me completely. I could have been a completely different person, and maybe that would have been the wrong choice. I don't know. I don't know if it would have been the right choice. So yeah, we look back and we go, but this could have been better. Would it have been better though? Or is it just sort of the easy way out of a situation that actually improved me as a person? They did great. They did a very good job. I was very, very lucky. And I know that not everybody had the opportunities I had growing up that they were able to provide me. And I recognize and understand that I was, and still am, incredibly fortunate. They're fantastic, and they still are fantastic. And I got to see them last week, and it was amazing. And I can't wait to see them again. But I'll let her know. Thank you. What's next? Vicky, thank you so much. Says, love your streams when I can catch them. Oh, the old Canadian, eh? Just sad it took me so long to find them. Hey, but you're here now, and it's not going to stop anytime soon, I hope. So welcome to the party. Every Friday is when we try to do it. Struggle Salter, welcome to the party. You might have been here the whole time. I don't really know, but thank you so much. The old Canada Ace says, this should facilitate a coin flip to help your dry throat. Ha-ha, you fool, those Canadian dollars. But I'm feeling generous. It is a tails, though. It's tails. You probably, oh yeah. Now you can tell from that. That's great. This is heads. You see the little dot and the brand. I can't. It's reversed. Yeah. This is tails. Haha, stroke. Haha. I win. Thank you, though. Thank you so much. Mark Jones, thank you so much. Says, bummer, this is my last live Friday stream until mid-November. I guess there is a downside to football. Hey, I know the feeling. But, maybe I'll pop in some live streams here and there other times. James K, thank you so much. Says, that's not me. Where we hear that before. Everywhere. SK, thank you so much. Says, Sergeant! Love it. PT's false victim game. You guys. You said it, not me. Thank you so much. Says Dr. Phil was state certified. You are correct. James K, thanks so much. Says when Amir dies, he has free funeral escorts coming. Not anymore. We'll get to that in a bit. Mav, again, thank you so much. We already covered that, but hey, incredible. Thank you so much. All right. And Aaron, just now, thanks so much, says, with your charm, you could have been number 1 of the grifties instead of a certain unsafe driver we all know. Hey, next year, nominate me. We'll see what happens. Get me a grifty. I don't know if I deserve it, but I'm not going to say no. All right, so yeah, that's the okay, serious face. Domestic violence against against potentially against Jennifer. And there was an entire essay basically I wrote, I think, on the incident with Rania. There are certain people that are very close to me that help me with this channel that are very sensitive to domestic violence, and for their sake, one of the alleged domestic violence incidences, I did as an essay instead of a video, and that might still exist somewhere. I'm certain it does, but I stand by that decision. Some people were very unhappy with me that I didn't put out a video about it. They had to read something. Nope. The people who helped me with this channel are very important to me, and they come first. But that was the whole thing. That was his own separate thing. Next, Jeremy went on a vacation, a little trip. As a sex offender, he has to register his movements in certain ways. In fact, even when he went to Dr. Phil, there were concerns that he didn't register the trip with Florida, which he's required to do in some way. That was a whole thing. It was really kind of funny that might have got him, but I don't believe it did. But he went on a trip, and he tried to pretend it wasn't him, but evidence came forward to suggest that it was, in fact, him that went. Oh, no. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll get to that in a bit. I'm not going to go to the video of him trying to explain it and all that stuff. It exists. It's long. It's convoluted. There's a lot of stuff to go through. Basically, Jeremy went on a trip. He left the area that he was not allowed to leave because he was, again, remember, he was being charged with all sorts of stuff at this time. And he was not allowed to leave the county, I believe. It appeared that he left the county and he failed to inform the area or the people that he was supposed to inform when he moves around. And I want to say, if I remember correctly, they tracked it down because of his phone records. It was a whole thing. There was a lot. There was a lot going on this time, and I don't remember all of it because it was a long time ago. But what came of it was his bond was revoked. Right? He was out his pre-trial release, and they went, nope, pull him back in because he can't follow instructions. And this would have been 6/7/2021, I believe. And he managed to get back out on pre-trial release under the following conditions. That's where stuff really started falling apart. No contact with any alleged victims, which I believe would include Jennifer. Do not possess or own any weapon or firearm, including pepperball guns and utility belts. Good luck. And then check-ins on Wednesdays. He had to check in with somebody every Wednesday. And then there was a 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. curfew. And here's the important bit. He must divest of all Metro State holdings. Everything that he has at Metro State, he has to sell. And he did. He put a lot of stuff on eBay. There's this patch. Again, I don't know if this is an original or someone just made it. Don't know. I love it, though. The person who sent me that, thank you so much. I love having it. It's so great. But what Jeremy basically did was he took all this stuff and he started selling it through his, I think, mother. And I think the eBay account, because a lot of it was on eBay, got reported for reasons. It was weird. But it was being sold about basically 4 times what it was worth, which I had argued in the past was essentially a bad faith sale. Like, he had been ordered to sell, but he was selling at well above market value, which is not in line with what he'd been ordered to do. And I assume his counter argument would have been, well, I'm important, I'm famous, therefore I get to charge extra. But, like, it wasn't selling, so no. You have to get rid of it. So it's possible it was just he transferred ownership to his mother, then his mother sold it. I don't know. But there was a lot of weirdness with his selling. But he had to sell all of it. He had to get rid of everything. And then it was just more of the same for a while. Of just like, yeah, stuff was coming out, but it wasn't stuff we hadn't really seen before. I started to be like, hey, I'm starting to back out. And I sort of took a step back from all of this until he got his sentencing. He actually accepted a plea deal. Now, he was facing a significant amount of time in jail. Of all the charges, if none of them had been dropped, it would have been over 100 years. With the charge that they kept, I think it was over 70 years if he hadn't filed a guilty plea. But he filed a guilty plea for some of the charges. And this is the best part. Sorry, things outside. Oh man, so he got 18 months in jail. Basically, he had a case in Osceola County and Orange County. So Osceola got him first. They got 18 months. Orange County gave him 18 months as well to be served concurrently, meaning at the same time, with maybe like 100 and something days credit time served. But then he got this insane probation. I've never seen probation like this in all of my life. 48 months. That is 4 years. Yeah, that's about right. 4 years. So, credit 110 days. What it is? I have my notes right here. He had 48 months probation consecutive to the incarceration. So once the incarceration of a year and a half, 18 months, ends, he gets 4 years of probation. Now, they did him dirty. They set him up. They gave him what looked like a really good plea deal. But I don't think he can obey this because when we were following Jeremy DeWitt's shenanigans, he couldn't obey what he had then for his deals that he with the court, with the pretrial release and the bond and whatever. But what he got was he is sentenced as a habitual felony offender for one of the cases, which so if he violates anything, if he does it again, like he's screwed. The charges, the sentencing increases dramatically. His first 2 years of probation will have GPS monitoring, so I assume like an ankle monitor. And he will have an 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. He will have no activities related to Metro State. He will not appear in public to be affiliated with Metro State, so he can't wear any Metro State gear. He can barely even talk about it, really. He must permanently close and or delete Metro State YouTube channel, which is still up. And he has to permanently close the Metro State website, which I don't know if that's still up. He has 60 days to do that. He may only work with his attorney to resolve pending Metro State civil litigation, which there is. He shall not possess pepperball guns or anything resembling a firearm, utility belt, bulletproof vest, handcuffs, badges, uniforms resembling law enforcement or government agencies. So all of that has to be gone. And he shall not drive or ride in any vehicles resembling law enforcement or government agencies. So no flashing lights, no strobes, no lettering, nothing that he had. He can't be in them. Not even in them. Like if they're driving, can't even be in them. It's insane. Love it. Like good luck, dude. Good luck. Let's see. Shall not conduct directly or indirectly any funeral escort or security details. Shall not direct any other individuals to do the same. So he can't be basically involved in his old job in any way. He can't direct it. He can't be involved. Nothing. This is my favorite part. We discussed it earlier. This is my favorite part. By accepting the plea, defendant acknowledges Florida Statute 316.1974 does not authorize non-law enforcement escort vehicles to drive outside of the funeral procession lane, nor to direct or block traffic, nor to commit traffic infractions intended to facilitate the procession. Yeah, that's his excuse, was Florida Statute 316.1974 was allowed him to do that. Basically, by accepting this plea deal, he acknowledged that's not the case. So if he ever does it again, they get to refer to this and go, you knew it didn't do that. You knew it was wrong. And that, oh boy. And I'll explain all of this. I'll explain this in a second. He has a 6 months driver's license suspension, so he can't drive for 6 months. And he has no motorcycle endorsement during probation. So for 4 years, he cannot ride a motorcycle. And then he cannot have contact with any victim or witnesses from any cases except his wife, Rania. We do not expect him to be able to obey all of that for 4 years. And I think the government does not as well. So they gave him what looked like a really good plea deal that he is not expected to be able to obey. He agreed to it, though. He's not expected to be able to follow it. And if he doesn't follow it, he goes immediately to jail for those 4 years, or for whatever's left. If he anything in which he is a habitual offender now, oh boy, he's in so much trouble. And there's so much. There's so much. That is an insane probation. I've never seen anything like that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I've never come across it. I don't generally look at probations, but nothing I've ever encountered look at anything that insane. That isn't, like, people look at that and go, 4 years, that's it? he's not expected to be able to obey that, I'm sure. I'm certain of it. The government does not expect him to be able to follow that. Whew. That's something else. Not a joke. So, so victims might include Jennifer. I believe victims does include Jennifer, perhaps. He can be in contact, and he can't, oh boy. So I hope for his sake, he remembers all of this. Yeah, so he does have civil litigation still pending. There's an incident where his brother Dylan was driving a motorcycle and almost got in a car accident and wrecked the bike, where Jeremy pretended to be Dylan in that incident, took charge. So there's because that video came out, I assume because that video, the taxi company is actually suing Jeremy for that. Other litigation. Sergeant Vidler and Corporal Ramsey, I believe, are suing the sheriff's department or the someone in the sheriff's department for how their situation was handled, because they received punitive sort of repercussions for some of their actions that they are, I believe, arguing were improper. I don't know the details of that case. I wish them the best of luck. I think that they certainly have an argument to be made. I don't know what their argument is, so I can't really speak much about it. But that concludes what I was going to talk about. Let me do some super chats, and then we'll get to the chat and see what you guys have to say about it. We almost did it in 2 hours. I thought we might get close to 2 hours, and we pretty much did it. So I'm pretty happy about this. There's so much. There are hours and hours more of, like, the things I could talk about would take me hours. There's so much. Friday brought it up. Friday International brought it up. Friday has some incredible content. Check Friday out, please. If you want more about Jeremy DeWitt, please. Because Jeremy is just insane. As it unfolded in real time, that it took, oh boy, was that a chunk of my life. I devoted so much of my time to just sort of going through all of that. We requested so much information. I was talking to so many people. It was absolute chaos. And I don't regret being away from it because of how chaotic it was. It was work. It was great. And I'll be honest, I hope Jeremy doesn't make any more mistakes. I hope I don't get any more content on him. I hope he learns. And Linda, in a comment, says, I'm all for people recognizing mistakes and getting another chance, but Jeremy, not so sure. Hope he reaches out to Bacon. He did it once. I hope he does it again. I'd love to walk him through some stuff. I believe in second chances. I really do. And now that Jeremy, like, if you pay your debt to society, cool. Absolutely. I'll help you. I was never not willing to help Jeremy. He just didn't want help. So I addressed his errors. But let me go through the super chats real quick. Ryan, thank you so much again. Says, I would love to see a show about the Dominion machine sold on Goodwill for $8, then on eBay for $1,200. $8? I'm looking at the wrong Goodwill. That sounds like a good time. Logan, thank you so much. Says, anything on the prison break-in attempt? No, I have no idea what that's about, actually. I have no information on that, to my knowledge. Sounds interesting. Taco! Hey, Taco, good to have you here. Thanks so much. Says, hi, Blue, missed you and everyone else. It's good to have you here, as always. But that catches us up on the super chats. Any questions while I have you guys here, as I'm struggling to contain my allergy? And let me tell you, it's a struggle. Oh, man, that plate break, though. What a plate break. What do you think? Do I sip this? Pat's Cat says, I think he has a serious mental health issue which won't allow him to change. We argued that he had a pretty severe sort of, what was it? We said he was a compulsive liar, and there's something else. It just, his ego was just extreme. Narcissist. He was a narcissist and compulsive liars. Something I actually said to the producer, to Dr. Phil. That's something I still believe, just based on his behavior. And I hope that has changed. Child Girl asks, do I have a pet? I have my girl Penny, my dog. She's not here right now. Yeah, but she's pretty great. We're doing a lot of training with her, and it's working so well. She's very reactive to other dogs, unfortunately. She's the sweetest girl, super chill, but you get a dog near her and she starts to freak out. The breed that she is has that tendency, unfortunately. So we've been doing a ton of training. It's not cheap. But she's doing so well. So, Pete asks, any word on the foreclosure of his house? Who's paying the mortgage, if at all? I don't know, actually. There might have been a lien on that. Last I heard, Rania is still living in that house. I don't know what the situation is on that. Honestly, I don't know much about what's happening with all of that. Because and I had this policy, I still do. There are a lot of people involved in that situation that it's not my business to talk about. I talk about Jeremy because he committed crimes. But the other people in his life, I did try to sort of distance myself from. There's stories there. There's content. But in the interest of being a decent human being, I sort of left them out. I didn't follow through with them. For sure. Facty says, Blue Bacon, if you kill somebody and spend 20 years in jail, you might have paid off your debt to society, but the person you killed is still dead. And that's true. That's true. And I won't forget that. Don't think I won't forget what you did. But I'm still willing to help you become a better person. If you murder somebody and you pay your debt and you're out, what you need is somebody to help you. Now, I'm not going to agree with your actions. I'm not going to like your actions. I'm not going to forget your actions that put you in jail. Once you're out, helping you, providing you some support, as long as you don't mess it up and you play by the rules, providing you that support is going to stop you from, hopefully, from finding yourself in a situation that's going to create more problems. And it's not that I agree with you or like you or want you to do what you did before. Literally, all I want is to get you out of a situation that would put you back into that place. I think that's a mentality that a lot of people should have about a lot of things. With caution, but I believe in second chances. I've been burned before, but not enough. Not enough to stop believing in it. How long do I think until DeWitt violates? That's a good question. That depends on what his plans, his career plans are. If you wanted to work construction, he could work construction, for example. But if he had this compulsion to do like law enforcement, be in a position of authority, I don't know what he can do when he gets out. Is he going to try that again? Is he going to lay low? Is he going to just work for somebody else? Is he going to be able to handle that? I'd say 3 years. Just random number off the top of my head. 3 years out of the 4. At year 3, he's going to do something dumb. But will the police still be watching him at that point? But I don't know what he's going to do when he gets out. Charlie says, Bacon should start a pool for how long Jeremy stays compliant. It's tempting. It's tempting. I probably won't. But I do like the idea. But honestly, I don't know. I don't know what his mentality is going to be when he gets out. But we'll be sort of keeping tabs on him. I have some people in the area still that I'm pretty sure I can count on to give me updates. But I might not be the first reporter on the scene when he messes up. But if he messes up real bad, I'll probably be there. For sure. Tyler says, I will bet he won't last 2 months. Very possibly. 8 months top. Surrender Monkey says, when the world becomes a better place and we have no criminals, can we watch you do things with squirrels? That depends on the things you want to watch me do with squirrels. I'm a little worried what your plan is. What you think I'm going to be doing with squirrels. I'm already pretty squirrely. Richard asks, when can we see yourself, Team Skeptic, and Arnie doing drinking game with fraudsters, or any other videos? I would be down for that. If they are. If they want to do it, I'm in. You let me know. You let me know if they're talking about it. Patch, thanks so much. Says both DeWitt and Chille have narcissistic tendencies. I agree with that. Both act and are harmful to others. I just hope Chille gets stopped soon. Yeah, same. Chille's running into some dead ends. Pretty, well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening with Chille where he's realizing things are not going the way he wants. And I've said for a while there are a couple ways it could go. There's, he just fades into obscurity, or he does something so extreme that just like stuff goes crazy. And right now we're in the phasing into obscurity phase, but at any point he could do something insane that just launches him back onto the radar of just like this guy. Right? So, because he's still doing his crazy stuff, and I stopped covering him as much because the stuff he's doing isn't necessarily new. But he's still doing stuff. And things are starting to catch up with him, though. So we're keeping an eye on that. And once that stuff fully catches up with him, if it ever does, we'll talk about it. I'm not done with him yet, I don't think. Oh, the Grifties. Yes, Walter McGarvin. Yes, so there's this thing called the Grifties on the internet. We talked about it earlier, sort of briefly referenced it. And Chille's number one to be the recipient of this year's Grifty Award. So that's the thing. That's the whole thing. Oh, you guys. I had no part of that. I may have voted, but other than that, okay, so I had some part in it. But other than that, I am not the one promoting it. Team Skeptic and Nassau Report, I think, are the ones that have been promoting it. Possibly others. Those are the ones I know of, though. But, yeah. Oh, good old Chille. So, future stuff. I told you to talk about future stuff. I have a police impersonator that I want to talk about. I have a prank channel I just discovered today that did some impersonation of a security guard. I think I have to do a bunch of research into it. This month, I don't know what I'm going to do. This month is absolutely insane. I'll try to get you stuff when possible. I might just stream a bunch because it takes the least amount of time. I have to do all the research. We can just have fun and comment on things. So there might be a bunch of that. I'm sure you guys will hate that. Yeah. So we're going to see what this month has in store. I'm so sorry beforehand, but we're going to work it out. Linda, thank you so much. Says, sorry off subject, but I heard Chille being in my area, Boston, this Labor Day weekend. I am proudly wearing my Womp Womp shirt. Yes! Oh, the Womp Womp shirt. I have a couple shirts I still have to make, by the way. Womp Womp shirts, shirt I have available. I'm so excited about that. And hopefully get a pic with him that I can share. Please, don't break the law doing it. Don't harass him, nothing like that. But if you can get a picture
Sorry
lawfully...
off subject, but I heard Chille will be in my area, Boston, this Labor Day WE. I am proudly wearing my Womp Womp shirt and hopefully get a pic with him that I can share. Smile.
I love it. Yeah, I would love to see it. If you get it, just be careful. Don't do anything crazy. But for that, you know what? I'm not going to flip for it. Cheers to the Womp Womp shirt. Yeah, but I think I'm... Oh, Charlie Girl, thank you. Charlie says, I love you. Thanks, Charlie. I appreciate it. My girlfriend might not, but... but yeah, I think I'm going to end it here. It's great. Hey, guys, folks, people, ladies, gentlemen, etc. In between, I don't care. I'm not picky. Thanks for being here. Thanks for doing this again. It was nice to go back down this. The insanity that was Jeremy DeWitt. I don't necessarily want to make a habit of it because that was a time, let me tell you. But it was good to revisit and remember and reminisce. And thank you for being here for all of that. And I can't wait to see what the future has in store for all of us. But that's probably when I'm going to end it. And hopefully have a video for you on Monday. Because absolute chaos in my life right now. But it's always an absolute delight to talk to all of you. Always. And oh no. And thank you so much. Your generosity is not unnoticed. And it helps keep this running. And you guys really are the best. You really are the best. I'm blessed to have the viewers that I have, the engagement I have, the audience that I have. And I struggle to express how much it really means to me that you allow me to do all this craziness. And the train agrees. Right, train? Do you agree with that? Other direction, train? Thank you. Train agrees. Let me just check that real quick. Do you agree, train? Give me that. Yeah. Train agrees. Train says yes. That is an agreement from the train. Thank you, train. You can get out of here now. Thank you. Oh, I forget. There it is. All right. Appreciate it. Ah, you stop it, you. But yeah, you guys are the greatest. Ben Lopez, thank you so much. And with that, I'm going to end it here. I can't wait to see you guys again. And just keep being you. So good. So until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, be good, stay safe.